Oh, is everybody okay out there? Everybody okay out there? I've been on Twitter, been in the YouTube chat a little bit early. People are panicking. Seems like people are getting ready to jump out of buildings. The Giants are done. They didn't go out there and spend $18 million on Tremaine Edmonds. They didn't go out there and spend $15 million on this guy. Is everybody okay out there? Everybody breathe. Everybody check your pulse. Everybody check your pulse. Please check your pulse. It's going to be okay. I promise you. It's going to be okay. I promise you. Everybody do me a favor. Stand up! New York Giant fans. Relax. Relax. I get it. It's the first day of free agency, and everybody thinks that I said it on Twitter yesterday. Everybody thinks that Joe Shane's going to the supermarket to shop for lobsters. We're not spending at the top of the market in free agency. We're just not going to do it. We're not going lobster hunting. We might get a couple of chicken nuggets. Hopefully we get a nice little skirt steak. But this team is being built through the draft. They're not going to spend at the high end of free agency to build this team. He's waiting for the market to come back to him so he can start to sign some of these players and fill in as many holes as he possibly can before he gets to the draft. But we're not going lobster. We're not going deep sea fishing. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's not the way that he's going to build this team. But what's going on, everybody, man? What's going on there, Daniel Berry, man? What's going on there, Alvin? What's going on there, Amazing Guy? What's going on there, Michael? What's going on there, G. Kells? What's going on there, Joey Chestnut? What's going on, Air? What's going on, 247? What's going on, Jay? Hope all you guys are having a great day. I got off work. I said I got to go live. Got to talk free agency with you guys. Have fun with you guys tonight. We'll probably do this tomorrow as well. I'm sure there's going to be a lot circulating, so I'll probably go live tomorrow as well after I get off work at about 5 o'clock around the same time. Hang out with you guys. Talk about all the moves that have gone around in the NFL. We'll talk about that today. Of course, a lot of big splashes, some trade rumors. We've heard about Aaron Rodgers now. Looks like it's possible he could be going to the New York Jets. Some of the big signings, the Chicago Bears are spending like they're lunatics. I think Dave Gettleman took over as the GM temporarily as Ryan Poles had all that cap space, and he signed 2 linebackers. And they're going out there and they're spending crazy as you expect that they would have. They had over $100 million in cap space. Of course, they made the trade as well. They picked up DJ Moore. So they've done a lot. They've won the offseason. Usually when you win the offseason, you don't win in the regular season, but there's nowhere to go but up for that team. But we'll talk about some of the moves that have happened from around the NFL, and we'll wait to see if the New York Giants make any moves. And I know that they signed, I think it's Nunez Roches. I saw UBS say that. He's a depth piece. He's going to be a guy that's an interior defensive lineman, a depth piece. He's been in the league since, I think, 2014, like a former 6th or 7th round pick. He's a depth piece. He's not a guy that's going to make a big impact, but you hope he's a bit of an upgrade over a guy like Justin Ellis. But we know we need depth on that defensive line. So I don't mind that move. I know it's a 3-year deal, probably with a 2-year out. I'm sure it's not going to be for a whole lot of money. We'll talk about the Sterling Shepard decision today as well. We also brought back our punter, Jamie Gillen. I don't know about that one, but you know what? I'm going to trust Joe Shane. I'm going to trust the process, and they must see something in Gillen. He's got a big leg. So obviously they think they could improve him. He's kind of a project when we brought him in to begin with. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm sure the Giants are going to make some moves. You know, for everybody that's like worried that, the Giants aren't going to make any moves. Why do you think they structured Daniel Jones's contract the way in which they did? If they didn't plan to make any moves, they could have easily made it front-loaded this year. They would have reversed it. They would have won $45 million against the cap this year, 19 against the cap next year, or at least made it more even. They did that because they know that they're going to want to make a couple of moves. The Giants are not going to not sign anybody. They're going to fill in some holes. They're waiting for the market to drop so they could get guys at their number. Joe Shane is setting a walkaway price for his market. He's not going to overspend. That is what a good general manager does. So we got to have patience. I know as Giants fans, we're used to Dave Gettleman going on, putting on the blinders. This is Dave Gettleman. This is Dave Gettleman every free agency. He put on the glasses so he couldn't see. He was blind. How much does Kenny Golladay cost? How much Kenny Golladay cost? Okay. Oh, he wants $15 million a year. Give him 18. I want to make sure he's here. Yeah. Run him through the physicals. Let him lay down on the bed. We'll give him 3 MRIs. He'll have a 3-day sleepover and give him $3 more million than he wants. Just make sure he's with the Giants. How much does Adoree Jackson want? Okay, Adoree wants 10. Give him 14. We don't play that anymore. We don't play that anymore. Joe Schoen's going to be smart with the way that he spends his money, and he's going to build this team through the draft. What's going on, everybody, man? What's going on there? Dylan is cool. What's going on there? DL, man, thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on? Close out. And let's see. And MY Giants 26 is R&R 3. I heard it was a 3-year deal. I didn't hear it was $21 million. Is that how much it was? Bob Wells, man, thank you very much. I don't know what the guaranteed is, so I'll wait to see the full official details. Bob Wells says, woosah. Woosah. Grab your ears. Grab your ears. Grab your ears. Woosah. Woosah. And Jason says, I like the chain as being prudent. There are still a ton of good players left. Give me Ben Jones. Yeah, and the linebacker. Any updates on Jerry Jeudy potential trade? I've heard rumors about the Jerry Jeudy trade. Obviously, the Broncos came out and said that they're willing to trade all their wide receivers, but they're not, like, dying to do it, essentially. That's basically the way that I read it, which they're not going to say that they're dying to do it because then they're not going to get what they want. I think that they're going to be willing to trade some of these guys. Obviously, they've all come out and said that, or at least some of them have come out and said that they'd like to play other places. Rumors came out that the Giants were talking about Jeudy before the trade deadline, so that's where the rumors are coming from. I'd be willing to trade for Jeudy. I like Jeudy. I think he'd fit the offense very well. I would have been excited to bring him in during the trade deadline because he's young. He's only 24, very good in terms of separation. His hands aren't the best, but I'd be very happy if we were able to bring in Jeudy. I've just heard rumors, though. The same rumors you guys have heard. I haven't heard anything else. But I'd be excited if we were able to bring him in. We'll see if the Giants ultimately are able to do something like that. Jay says, how would you feel about Calais Campbell? I would love him next to Dex and Leo. Perfect 3-tech for us. He is older, but yeah, and he's got familiarity with Wink, and we kind of need that. And I'm sure he wouldn't be a whole lot of money. I'd be completely fine with that. As a depth piece to build up the defensive line, I'm fine with that. And I still want to draft the defensive lineman. That's how bad we were against the run last year. But I'd be completely fine with it. Of course, it would have to be a cheap salary, which I could only imagine it would be. King Tracy, man, what's going on, man? You're only as good as your backups. This is important. Of course, that's what the draft is for, too. 5th, 6th, 7th round. You have to build up your depth. Independent says, very happy for Nick. Yeah, Nick Gates. Listen, I'm happy for Nick Gates. Nick Gates is obviously loved by the fan base, and I'm happy. I'm not happy that he chose Washington, but Washington probably gave him the most money. They guaranteed that he could potentially be a starter. I didn't even see what the contract was. I just saw that it was a 3-year deal. And I had a feeling that was going to happen. Patricia Traynor was basically telling me that all offseason, even during the year, that she didn't expect Gates to be back. And the fact that, Feliciano has ties to Bobby Johnson and the Buffalo Bills. I figured if they had to pick one, they were going to go with him. And I think Feliciano in the end will probably be back on an affordable salary. I think we're going to draft the center. He says, do we draft the center by the 4th round? Yes, I think we're going to draft the center. I mean, we'll see what we do in free agency. Maybe we'll sign one. But if we don't, I definitely think we're going to draft the center. Even if Feliciano's back, I think they're going to draft the long-term answer there. Are we planning a big Bears trade in a couple of years when they're in cap hell? LOL, we'll get depth. The Giants are doing it smart. They're not going to overspend. They're not in a place right now to overspend. We've been down this road before. 2016, how did that work out? 2021, how did that work out? You build your team through the draft. You fill in holes in free agency. That's what they're going to do. They're going to wait for the market to come to them, and they're going to sign a couple of players at some areas of need. That's what they're going to do. But they're not going to spend top dollar, nor should they. J-Man says, what's a reasonable number for OBJ? 2 years, $35 million? I ain't giving him that. Somebody might. I ain't giving him that. I'm not going up with the chat. I am very curious to see what the chat thinks. I think a team would be crazy to give Odell Beckham 2 years, $35 million. Now, he may get it because the market's incredibly thin at the wide receiver position. Jacoby Myers right now is the most sought-after wide receiver. He may get it. But if somebody gives him 2 years, $35 million coming off of 2 ACL tears, I don't want it to be the Giants. I'll tell you that right now. I think they'd be crazy to give him that kind of money. Now, if you give him $8 million, $9 million with some incentives where he could reach 15, sure. But to give him straight up $17.5 million a year? Hell no, I ain't doing that. Hell no, I ain't doing that. I think you'd be crazy to do that. And it's nothing against OBJ. The guy's 31. He's over 30 years old. He's had 2 ACL tears. It's just not. It's not good business. I don't see something like that happening. Let's see what we got. But somebody will probably give it to him because teams are desperate. Bill, what's going on, man? Hey, Chris, please don't OBJ. The guy is injury prone at a big risk. And, of course, he's still immature. You saw that dumb move on the plane. There's a reason he don't stay long on any team. Draft wide receiver. Listen, I'm not going to completely rule anything out. If they feel OBJ could help the team, that's great. But I don't think it's a smart idea. And Joe Schoen ain't doing that. Joe Schoen ain't giving that guy $35 million over 2 years or $15 million a year coming off the injuries that he's had. He's not doing it. So I'm not even worried about it. If Odell was going to sign with the Giants, it's going to be for an incentive-based contract. Joe Schoen ain't giving him that kind of money. So I'm not worried about it. If they could get him for $10 million, sure. Okay. You want to take a shot, contract you could get out of quick. Could be a stopgap option there at the top of the wide receiver chart as you continue to build it up through the draft. Okay, that's an option. But if his market is what he just suggested, no way, man. No way. MY Giants 26 is LJ Jake is still in the market. Played offensive guard. Yeah, we're going to go over everybody in a minute. I'm going to go over everybody that's at least currently. I don't know how updated this is, but it's supposed to update, every time somebody signs, the list is supposed to update. So I'll show it. I'll go over some of the top free agents that are still available that maybe the New York Giants could potentially be interested in. Yvonne says, love Jeudy, includes the fifth-year option, $17 million for 2 years. So I would like Jeudy. Of course, I don't know what they're asking for, but I would like Jeudy if the deal makes sense. Jay says, would you be okay with signing 2 linebackers in free agency? Sure. We need to. So, yeah, I mean, if you could get 2 mid-tier linebackers for $5 to $7 million and not have to worry about that position for a long time, sure, I'd be okay with that. Then you wouldn't have to draft one. You could completely ignore that position in the draft and you build all the other positions. Yeah, and it's a very deep linebacker class, even with a lot of the linebackers that have already signed. So I wouldn't be against it. I don't think they're going to do that. I think in the end they'll probably sign one and maybe like a really cheap guy along with it if they try to double up. But I definitely think they're going to sign like a guy that's between $5 and $8 million at the linebacker position, if I had to guess. Let's see what we got. The M says, I want no part of OB Jerk. I think a lot of Giants fans agree. A lot of Giants fans don't agree with you. He's the most polarizing player. People say Daniel Jones is the most polarizing player. I think Odell Beckham's the most polarizing player. Like, people are completely split on him. Jay says, I'm surprised we didn't go for TJ. Yeah, that was a good deal. And obviously, we don't know, how the Giants felt like he would fit in the defense, so on and so forth. And we don't know how they feel about him in the building. Obviously, our assistant general manager came from the Philadelphia Eagles. But based off what the projected market was for him, it seems like it was a good deal. A lot of people thought he would get upwards of $10 million a year. So I was surprised when I saw that number, to be completely honest with you. I thought he was going to get at least $10 million a year. So, yeah, that was a good deal. And I said to myself, all right, well, at least that's going to keep the linebacker market low. And I think it still will, relatively low for those second-tier guys, right? Like Long, for example, a guy that I would like, who's still available from the Tennessee Titans. Tremaine Edmonds is kind of on his own market because of his age and his upside and, how long he's been playing from within the league. He's been in the league for 4 years. He's still only 24 years old. So, and he's played at a pretty high level. He's been able to stay healthy. So you knew he was going to be, like the top of the linebacker chart. I didn't think he was going to get 18. I thought he'd get 15, 14. He ended up getting $18 million a year. But I think the Giants are waiting for that secondary market to kind of establish itself, and then they'll pick out a couple of guys that they like. That's what I think they're going to end up doing. Bob says, what would you give up for Jeudy? I'd definitely be willing to go a second-round pick for Jerry Jeudy, and a little bit more. I'd give him like a second or fifth for Jerry Jeudy. I would do that. I don't know how the Giants feel about him, but, yeah, I mean, you're talking about the 57th overall pick for a guy that is still really young, that has the potential that he does, and you still got him under rookie control for a few more years. I would give up like a second and a fifth for Jerry Jeudy, 100%. Mark says, I wouldn't touch an aged injury cancer like OBJ with a 10-foot pole. I don't think you got to worry about it. Not for what his projected market is going to be. I don't think you got to worry about it. So don't worry about it. I don't think we're getting Odell Beckham. I mean, supposedly it came out yesterday, and I don't know if anything new has developed. But supposedly it came out yesterday that he was asking for like top tier money at the wide receiver position. That doesn't mean he's going to get it, but that's what he's asking for. And if one team is willing to do it, he's going to go there. So we'll see ultimately what his market ends up being. But unless his market is much lower than people are anticipating, I don't see the Giants being interested. So we'll see. But again, thank you to everybody for being here. Hopefully you guys enjoying your Monday. I know a lot of Giants fans aren't because you were hoping for lobster. Haven't gotten lobster quite yet. We'll see what the New York Giants end up getting. But I'm going to pull up a list of the active free agents, who's available, who's come off the board. We'll talk briefly about some of the moves that have already gone down from around the league today. Jimmy Garoppolo signed, by the way. Or I don't know if he signed. It was rumored. No, he did, actually. He did. He signed with the Raiders. And I think it was like mid-20s per year. Not bad. Not bad for a pretty accomplished quarterback. A lot of these moves we already knew about, like Derek Carr signed days ago. Daron Payne signed yesterday. Saquon Barkley, of course, was tagged by the Giants. Hargrave signed today. And from a Giants perspective, that actually has a bit of an impact on the Giants, right? Because he's a defensive tackle. He got $21 million a year. Deron Payne got a big contract as well from Washington yesterday. So you're starting to see that interior defensive lineman market start to develop. And if you're Dexter Lawrence and you see a 30-year-old defensive tackle and Hargrave signed for $21 million a year, you are smiles ear to ear. Sexy Dexy started doing that. Sexy Dexy started doing this. When he saw Hargrave sign for that money, he started doing a sack dance. He started doing this on the table because he said to himself, if they're paying him $25 million or $21 million a year at the age of 30, I'm worth at least 23, 24. So you're starting to see that defensive tackle market start to develop. And I got to assume the Giants are going to extend Dexter Lawrence sooner than later. But very good news for Dex as you see that defensive tackle market starting to develop. Davenport, that we had loose rumors to a couple of days ago, he's still available. I don't know if we're going to be, he's going to go for a lot. Orlando Brown, I don't think we'll have any interest in. He's a tackle. Dean, I think, signed. I think I saw somebody say that in the chat that he re-signed with the Bucs, but maybe that was just a rumor. I don't think we'll have interest in Bradbury. I don't think he fits our scheme. Poyer is still available from the Buffalo Bills. Giants could certainly sign a safety if they don't sign Julian Love back, and so far they haven't. So Poyer could make sense. Former ties with the Buffalo Bills. You also got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, another safety that's available. Let's see. David Long, linebacker, still available. Levante David, an older option at the linebacker, available. 33 years old. Isaac Seumalo could make sense. Interior offensive lineman, 27 years old from the Eagles, or 29 years old, rather, from the Eagles. Could make sense. Maybe a 3-4 year deal. Jacoby Myers, of course, the big wide receiver on the market, available. Dalvin Tomlinson, I mentioned him in my free agency video as a potential option for the Giants. They already signed a DT, but he's more of a depth guy. Possibility, depending on his market. I could see the Giants maybe expressing some interest. I think it's pronounced Orikri. I don't know. The Colts linebacker, a lot of people said that he could potentially be a target for the New York Giants. He's available. So there's still a lot of linebackers still out there. Dalton Schultz, the top tight end, still available. Byron Murphy, he's been around for a bit. Cornerback, he was drafted, I think, the same year as DeAndre Baker, if I'm not mistaken. He won a few picks after him. He's available. Yannick is available. We don't want Will Hernandez. And then there's going to be a lot of depth guys. Juju's still available. DJ Chark is still available when you get to that secondary wide receiver market. Odell, of course, there he is. Mecole Hardman, there's another wide receiver, Leighton Vander Esch. So there's still some names out there. Gesicki, I know some Giants fans have expressed interest in him. I don't necessarily want him. Garrett Bradbury, starting center, could make sense. Tranquil could make a lot of sense for the Giants. A lot of people feel like he'd fit the scheme. Linebacker could be one of those second-tier linebackers that you get for maybe $6 million a year. Could make sense for the Giants there. Paris Campbell, wide receiver, Fletcher Cox. So there are a lot of options still out there that the New York Giants are going to look at. And there's some of our guys, Darius Slayton, Julian Love, John Feliciano, Richie James. There's another one. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see who we ultimately end up with. We'll see if the New York Giants make any moves today. Looking forward to seeing if we end up with any of the guys that we just listed. But thank you to everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Mark says, "Oh yeah, I know you would. I know a lot of Giants fans wouldn't." Let's take a look. And I'm sure you guys will give me updates during the stream. So you guys will keep me informed as I'm talking to you guys about some of the free agents that are coming off the board. Hopefully some of them go to the New York Giants, and hopefully they're deals that make a lot of sense. Jason says, I'm still banging the table for Drew Sanders out of Arkansas. Can tackle and rush out of the three-point stance. Very good in coverage. Would kill under Wink. I love him as a second round, or maybe, I don't think he's getting to the third round. I know some mocks haven't dropped to the third round. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if you want him, if he's even there at 57, I think he's a potential second-round target. But I'd like him. I would like him. I think he fit our defense. But it all depends on what we do in free agency, right? If we spend a decent amount of money on a linebacker, odds are we're probably not going to draft him in the second round. But we still certainly could. Mr. Lopez says, looks like Shane is building from the ground up. Judy for a second-round pick is cool with me. Depth pieces are definitely need, and I'm not mad at it. Yeah, listen, he's filling in the holes at free agency. He's not looking for his core pieces in free agency. He's going to look for his core pieces from within this team, from within this program, whether it be guys that he inherited or whether it be guys that he's bringing up. Guys like Kayvon are going to get the contracts. Guys like Evan Neal are going to get those contracts, right? Andrew Thomas, Dexter Lawrence. Those are the guys that he's going to give the bulk of the money to. Rather than spend $21 million a year on a guy like Javon Hargrave, who's 30 years old, he says, no, I'm going to spend my $23 million a year on Dexter Lawrence, who's 25, a homegrown talent, a guy that we know from within the building. So he's not going to go shopping hungry, as he likes to call it, right? He's going to build from within the in-house. in terms of his core pieces. I don't expect a Nate Solder signing, a record-breaking left tackle contract, or a Kenny Golladay type signing. I don't think he's going to shop at the top of the market, at least not right now. If this team further develops over the next couple of years, yeah, sure, maybe a cherry on top piece here, cherry on top piece there. But right now, I think he's going to be smart. He's going to fill in holes, but he's going to fill them in under what he thinks is a good salary. He's not gonna force it like Dave Gettleman did. Let's put it that way. Thomas Sadek's going to reset the market, which they should. They have to. They're going to be the highest paid defensive tackle and left tackle in football the day that they sign extensions with the New York Giants. That's just the way it works in the NFL. And when you're young and when you're talented and when you play in a position as important as Andrew Thomas does and as important as Dexter Lawrence does, you're starting to see what some of these defensive tackles that can rush the passer are getting paid. Well, you're obviously gonna have to pay him a good amount of money. J-Man says, watch the combine. Yes, I did. Levis and Richardson look like DNs. I mean, listen, they're in shorts, whatever. Richardson obviously looked like a freak athletically. Levis looked okay to me. But Richardson obviously looked really good with the drills. He threw a couple of really good deep balls. I ain't even thinking about the quarterbacks. I know we're not taking one of those guys, so doesn't bother me. I think it's possible 4 quarterbacks go in the first 4 picks, especially after the trade that went down, because now the first 2 picks are going to be quarterbacks, right? And then I think the Cardinals are going to trade out of that pick. I think a team that needs a quarterback. But now what you're starting to see, and I'm looking forward to doing a mock draft after free agency, because now Raiders probably aren't going quarterback. I haven't looked at that Jimmy Garoppolo contract yet, but I think it's probably a 2-year commitment. If it is, they're more than likely not trading up for a quarterback. So that kind of takes them out of the potential race to go up and get a quarterback. Seattle signed Geno to a contract that I think is more or less a 2-year commitment. Detroit is interesting. I don't know how long they're committed to Jared Goff. They potentially could go up and get a quarterback. The Colts could move up 1 spot to assure they get the 3rd quarterback as far as that Cardinals pick goes. And then you got a team like Washington. They're certainly a team you maybe want to keep your eye on. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to draft, but I think a lot of quarterbacks are going to go very early. Jay says, would you be okay with Hardman and OBJ at wide receiver? Sure, under the right price, but I don't think we're getting OBJ. I think he's going to be way out of the market. I would love Hardman for the appropriate price, but it's not $10 million for me. I'm not giving him $10 million. But if you get Hardman for $6 million, coming off an injury, 7 maybe, I'll take a shot at him for that. He's young. He's 25. He had the second highest rate of separation in football 2 years ago. He ran a 4.33 340 during his combine day. He's probably not going to be a guy that pans out. He's a risk. I get it. But if you're not paying a whole lot for him, a guy that Kafka's familiar with, that they feel like could fit the scheme and bring a different dynamic to this offense, sure. But I think his market's probably going to be higher than what Joe Schoen's going to be willing to spend. But maybe if he waits it out, maybe he gets a deal with one of these guys. Mackay says that age cancer just was a key contributor on a Super Bowl team. OBJ under the right terms would be a great signing. Under the right terms, I agree. Under the right terms. But it's got to be under the right terms, and I don't think it's going to be under the right terms. But sure, if you get him for a deal for $8-9 million a year, incentive-based, I'll take a shot on him. I would. But I don't think we're going to get him for that. Bill, man, he says, anyone you like for interior offensive line in free agency? Yeah, I like the guy from the Eagles that I mentioned earlier. I actually mentioned him in my free agency video as well. I think he's ranked in the 30s or 40s on this list. He was around the same on the list that I looked at in the video. But I like him. And again, I don't know what their prices are going to be. But Ciamalo, right? He's a guard from the Eagles right there. I like him. And I like Bradbury, maybe. I don't know how they'll feel about him in the scheme. But he was a first-round pick. Didn't do great last year with Minnesota, but he was serviceable. He was solid. I don't know what his market would be. But if you could get him for an affordable rate, he was a first-round pick formerly of the Minnesota Vikings. And he hit free agency. So there's another guy that I think could step in and at least be a stopgap starting center for the Giants for a couple of years. Those are some interesting names depending on what their markets may be. But I think they're going to attack offensive line for the most part in the draft. I don't think they're going to spend big bucks in free agency. No, what's going on, man? I love Tremaine, but too much money, not man. No, you couldn't sign him. You could not sign him to that contract. Would have been ridiculous. $18 million a year for this team. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. No way. Got to be smart. But yeah, I would have loved him on the team. Crazy Sifter says, sign Eric Kendricks now or draft Jack Campbell. To me, Kendricks is kind of whatever at this point. He's whatever at this point. He's He's not, to me, he's not even that big of an upgrade. I mean, he is because our linebackers were that bad, but I don't think he's a guy that's going to be a big difference maker for this team. If you're asking me which I'd prefer there, I'd rather draft Jack Campbell in the second round if he was there out of Iowa. I don't know if he will be because he had a really good combine. But, yeah, one of the better linebackers in this year's draft class. So I would rather go with the young linebacker if he's there at 57. I wouldn't take him at 25. Nikki says, I think trading for Jeudy or signing Campbell, Colts wide receiver, would be a huge help. Sign Long. I'm all about Long. Again, I don't know what his market is, but I like him. He was another guy I mentioned in my video. He's undersized. He's 225, but he's good in coverage, or at least he's developed into a good coverage linebacker. Formerly undrafted. I think he was undrafted. No, maybe he was a late round pick. I might be confusing him with the guy from the Eagles, but a guy that I like, a guy that I think would fit our defense. So he's a guy that I have my eyes on, and right now he's probably the best linebacker available. So I'd be happy if we could end up with him. Jason says, if Jalen Carter was to miraculously fall to 25, would you take him? Granted, his legal troubles are situated. Him, Dexy, and Lee, of course I would take him. Now, again, I don't know how Joe Shane and the Giants are going to feel about his legal troubles, but you're asking me as a fan, would I take a guy that many feel is the best overall player in this year's draft if he were to fall to 25 without having the ability to have the one-on-one interviews like the Giants are going to be able to have and the background check and so on and so forth? Yeah. I don't think he's dropping to 25, but if he did, yeah, absolutely. I would be interested, man. David Long or DJ Chark would be, DJ Chark's another guy. He had a 1,000-yard season, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago with the Jaguars. He's got good speed. He ran in the low 4.3s, I think, on his 40-day, when he was coming into the pros. He's got talent. He's got potential. Again, what's his market? But sure, I'd be happy if we could bring him in for an affordable price. I don't want Juju. Juju to me is name. He's name recognition, and he's probably going to get paid more than he should. I don't want Juju. And I don't think the Giants are going to want him. I'd be surprised if we get Juju. Let's see what we got. Chris, if you could redo the first round of 2019 draft, would you still take Josh Allen? No, I would not. No. Quarterback's more important. No. We ended up getting Kayvon Thibodeau too, right? So no, I would not. I would stick with DJ at this point. But hindsight 2020. You love Bobby Wagner again. I don't know what his market's going to be. Can we sign David Long? We can. Absolutely. We have enough money to sign David Long if we want to. It comes down to what his market is, how the Giants feel he'll fit in their scheme, whether or not he wants to play for the Giants. But yes, we definitely could. Absolutely could. Why is Giants Twitter so broken? Let's take a quick look at Giants Twitter. Let's have a few laughs. Let's take a quick look at Giants Twitter. Hold on. What are they talking about right now? What are they talking about? Hold on. Let me share. Let's take a look. Well, there you go, Ashton. First guy that popped up my timeline. I really don't get why fans get so mad over other fans' opinions. You're a regular fanboy, just like me. You don't have the answers. Okay. It's a good start. Let's see. All Giants things on. I just put up notifications for everybody I follow, so I probably shouldn't do that. So I get the insiders, I guess, when they drop. But I just like to talk to everybody on Twitter. Let's see if anything's going down on Twitter right now. Hold up. That's my profile. I don't want that. But yeah, Twitter's going crazy today, as you expect. I mean, it's free agency, right? Everybody's hoping that you end up getting Tremaine Edmunds. You get the big piece, and we haven't ended up with it quite yet. So we'll see. Diego says, "Come on, Chris, talk to me. What are people saying? Who are we interested in?" I love how you guys think that I'm like this insider. I'm not an insider. Once in a while, I get a little bone thrown my way by like Patricia or somebody else, like Bobby, who has insider information every once in a while. But I ain't an insider. Let's see what we got. Thomas says that guy we signed is cheap and a solid run defender. That's exactly what we want for depth. Yeah, it was a solid. I mean, again, somebody in the chat let me know what was the deal? Has it come out yet? I'll find it if nobody in the chat says it. I'm gonna look for it. What was the deal for what's up, Chris L, man? Thanks for popping to the stream. What was the deal for the defensive tackle that we just signed? All I care about is the guaranteed money. What was the deal? I know they signed the DT from Tampa Bay, but I don't know the deal. I have to think it's a nothing salary. Just 3 years. Hasn't come out yet. Okay. Hasn't come out yet. It's got to be very little. I can't imagine it being more than maybe $2.5 million a year. I can't imagine it being more than that. All right, let's see. Rodrigo, what's going on, man? He says, I think people forget that the last two big free agent signings were complete bums. We all know about Kenny, but people forget about Brett. Oh, good call. Brandon Marshall was a complete bust. Obviously, injuries played a factor in that, but complete bust for the Giants for sure. He was just as bad as Kenny Galladay. I don't want OBJ to be on that list. Yeah, I mean, listen, usually when you spend top dollar in free agency, it usually doesn't work out. Like, think about it. Generally speaking, and there are definitely guys. What's up, Jacob, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. There are definitely some free agents that have worked out that got paid top dollar. But generally speaking, it's not just the Giants. Like, look around the league year to year, and these guys that sign with other teams for absorbent amount of money. More often than not, the contracts don't work out. I would say like at least 80% of the time they don't work out. Usually the good teams that let good players go, there's a reason for it, right? Like there was a reason the Patriots let go Nate Solder. There was a reason that the Lions, well, then not that they were good at the time, but there was a reason they let go of Kenny Galladay. So yeah, let's see what we got. Yeah, Brandon Marshall. I mean, Brandon Marshall got hurt, in fairness, but yeah, he definitely didn't work out with us. Olivier Vernon worked out for a year and a half. Solid pickup. Wasn't great. Shepard is back. Yeah, we already know about the Shepard. That was another contract yesterday that I saw people. Tomlinson worked out. There's definitely some free agents that work out. I'm not saying that they don't, but usually the top high-end free agents, Le'Veon Bell, like they usually don't work out. And Giants Chronicle says, still solid linebackers in the market. Let me see. Still solid linebackers in the market. Shane was never going to pay $15+ million for a linebacker. It's only day one, and the Giants usually make their moves in the PM. I'm relaxed. I mean, I'm just like you guys. I want to get those presents underneath the tree. I want to get excited for next year. That's what free agency is about. But I'm relaxed. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit relieved. Even though I want some presents. I want some players. I want to know the direction so I can start to focus on the draft and say, okay, these are definitely going to be our needs going into the draft. And I want to know what this team is going to look like. I'm kind of relieved. I'm relieved that Joe Schoen didn't go out there guns a-blazing and he goes out there and spends high-end money for one of these guys before the market develops. He's trying to fill in as many holes as he possibly can. So he's going to let the market come to him, and then he's going to find some guys that he knows could fit what they're looking to do. I'm fine, man. Let the market develop. Don't go out there and be the first spender. I'm good with it. What's up there, Smoker Man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. 3 years, 19 with 15 guaranteed. That's what they paid the D tackle. I'll confirm that in a second. Let's see. Dan Duggan. Tampa perspective on newest Giants. If the Giants were going to spend for, I still don't see any deals. Maybe that's just a guess. I still don't see any specifics on that. So until I see that on Twitter, I'm not buying that. And Independent says, our present so far, Eagles losing guys. Yeah, and we knew they were going to lose guys. So we knew that they were going to lose guys. So I'm happy. I'm sure the Eagles are going to have some players to replace them with, right? They drafted Nakobe Dean. He'll step in. He'll be the new linebacker. I'm sure they're going to have guys that are going to replace some of their players that they lost, but they're going to lose Fletcher Cox as well. Like, they're losing some big-time players on that team. So we'll see. We'll see how they're able to rebound next year when they play what will probably be a more challenging schedule. And they don't have quite the same team coming back. So we'll see. But I'm not even worried about the Eagles. We got to improve our team. That's what the offseason is about. I'll worry about the Eagles when we get there. Thomas, what's going on, man? He says, last time people were mad we didn't sign big. We only signed Booker, Gillespie, and then along came Galladay, Jackson, and Rudolph. And we know how that went. Yeah, it's a good point. We ended up spending big. Yeah, you're right. It started off slow. I think that was the year we lost Alvin Tomlinson, if I'm not mistaken. I think. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think I am. I think that was the year we lost him, and everybody was flipping out, and then we went out and spent big, and we were all happy and excited, and then it went down the tube. So Hopefully that doesn't happen this time around. I don't think it will. I don't think he's going to spend like crazy. He may sign one big contract. That wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think he's going to spend like crazy. Sonny says Antonio Pierce was probably the last really good free agency pickup. Yeah, 2005 as a whole was a great year, right? When you look at the Giants free agent pickups in 2005, that was the year they also got Plaxico Burress in free agency, right? They got Antonio Pierce, they got Plaxico Burress, and they got somebody else. And I think it was the same draft where we ended up getting Brandon Jacobs. I want to say we got Justin Tuck. Like, that was an incredible offseason. Like, those were integral pieces to that Super Bowl team. So, thank God for 2005, right? Between free agency and the draft. Let's see what we got. Judy is soft, hurt, dinged up. I don't know. Let's worry about that if it even happens. We have to trade for him. Roll was a solid signing. That was later on. That was for the 2011 team. Corey Webster was 2005, right in the draft, right? I think it was a second-round pick because I don't think we had a first-round pick that year. We only had 4 picks, and we ended up getting Tuck, Jacobs, and Webster with 3 of them. Insane. What's going on there, Rudy T? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Kawika Mitchell. Yep, he was a pickup as well. Nico says, got the ESPN notification. Deadass almost had a heart attack. Thing said it was a 9-year contract. If I saw a 9-year contract for that guy, I probably would have passed out. I would not have made the live stream if I saw a 9-year contract for that guy. Let's see what we got. Antro was the last decent free agent pickup. I mean, I think Bradbury was a decent free agent pickup. It's just that we had to backload the salaries because of the pandemic and all the spending. But I think he was a decent free agent pickup. I think Marcus Golden was a decent free agent pickup. We've had a couple, but not many. Not many. Let's see. Not signing TJ Edwards or Pratt really stings. Both are very quality linebackers, and they both went for $7 million a year. There's still linebackers out there. Let's see who we end up getting. I still think we're going to sign a linebacker. So let's see who we end up getting. Thoughts on Sam Darnold to San Francisco? I didn't even see what he signed for. Let me take a quick look at that. I mean, I got to imagine he's not going to start. You got to figure. Let me see. Because obviously, what's his name is hurt. Here we go. Here's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold signs a 1-year deal. I don't know what the contract is, but it's obviously a deal because Brock Purdy's hurt. So that's what that's for. It's a 1-year deal. You got to figure Trey Lance is going to be the starter to open up the year, but it's kind of insurance for the Niners, and it gives Darnold. That's a smart move for Darnold, and it's a smart move for the Niners because Shanahan's obviously a really smart guy. They got great weapons over there. And if Trey Lance is not ready day one, coming off the injury, maybe they feel like he's not ready to start day one and they don't feel super comfortable. Darnold starts. If Darnold looks really good, you never know. Maybe next year in free agency, he gets a deal, kind of like Teddy Bridgewater did when he signed with the Saints. He ended up getting a 3-year deal out of that. So I think it's a smart move by Darnold. A 1-year deal, you get an opportunity to play with a good team. Maybe he flourishes. Maybe he looks good. Maybe he gets a contract next year. So it makes sense. Purdy's not going to start the year, so it makes sense for Darnold. What's up, Sherrod, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. And Chris, how's it going? What do you feel is the best course of action for the Giants during free agency? Be patient. Be patient. Let the market come to you. Fill in holes. I think we obviously got to address both sides of the line. Get depth there. Get a linebacker. But don't overspend. And I never thought Joe Schoen was going to. So far so good. I don't want him spending $18 million on a linebacker. I just don't. If there's a good deal there in terms of a trade, absolutely. But just fill some of the needs on your team, man, and get ready for the draft if you're Joe Schoen. This is not a 1-year fix for this team. It's just not. It's not a 1-year fix. What's up, Saber, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Giants not going to get a top-tier free agent, but I think Schoen is doing it smart. He will fill out this roster with quality players and draft smart. Yeah, we're building through the draft, man. Let's see. I'm happy we didn't sign. And Jason, man, thank you very much, man. He says, I would like Marcus Golden. I think he got cut or released or whatever. I saw that a couple of days ago. I don't know how well he fits the defense, but for cheap, why not? He was a solid player for the Giants. I don't know how good he still is, but he was a solid player if you get him for next to nothing. I don't know how well he'd fit the scheme, though. The reason the Giants signed him in the first place because of Betcher with his days with Arizona. Let's see. Blah, 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 DL says. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. They didn't sign Tremaine Edmonds. Blah, blah, blah. They're not going to sign Jacoby Myers. Blah, blah, blah. They're not going to spend $20 million on a wide receiver. They're not going to spend $20 million on a linebacker. They're not going to spend $20 million on a defensive lineman. They're not going to spend $20 million on a center. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I want them to go out and spend top of the market money so when the guy doesn't reach what he's getting paid, I could bitch about it. Blah, blah, blah. Joe Shane's doing it smart. He's building through the draft. Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? What's going on, Matt? Devin Bush. Devin Bush was a really good prospect coming out of college. Hasn't really lived up to it in the pros. What's up, Jeremy, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on there? Ben, what's going on there? Rafael DeLuna. Piggin says, what gets me excited about the Giants is the possibility of getting good players later in the draft. Please nail these pick chains. Yeah, we have to build through the draft, man. We have to build through the draft. What's up there, James, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Excuse after excuse after excuse. Blah, blah. There's what excuses? So my excuse for the Giants not going out there and spending big money today, yeah, I have an excuse. Joe Shane has a brain. Joe Shane has a brain. So Joe Shane's brain power is my excuse. Joe Shane has a brain. Okay. If you consider that an excuse, go ahead. He's not going to go out there and spend top dollar. Come on. Just the guy, man. Thank you very much, man. What are you going to do when the Giants draft beat? Well, I'd flip out about that. That's not happening. I'm not even worried about that. And Q-Dog, he says, I'm just excited that the New York Giants regime isn't jumping the gun like the old regime because we're still building depth and real culture. Eagles suck. Screw the Eagles, man. I can't wait to hopefully see them fall apart. Screw the Eagles. Yeah, Sunday tickets going to be available on YouTube, and that should help. That should help NFL revenue, which is going to help increase the salary cap and everything else. So we'll see. I agree, but I like the value for Pratt. I agree. I think the value for Edwards was very good. I would have liked him for that price. But let's see who else is available. Let's see what they do. Like, it's very hard to judge what you can't really judge free agency until you see how the Giants end up spending this money, how they build this team. Let's see what they do with the money. Let's see who they bring in. I guarantee you this defensive tackle that they just got, it's not going to be their only move. Okay? They're going to make some moves. They're going to bring in some players. I'm not worried about it. They're just not going to sign the highest price free agents. They're not going to do it. Yeah, he's a depth defensive tackle. He's a depth defensive tackle. I love Shane and I believe in him, but we got to get quality free agents to go along with our draft picks. You can't rely. I agree, and we will. We're just not going to spend top of the market. Batista. So Sunday ticket is. I don't know if you're from. I'm not saying this to be mean. I don't know if you're from here. So like Sunday ticket it was with DirecTV. So they no longer own it. Now YouTube owns it. And basically, you have the ability to watch any game in its entirety. You have to pay for it, of course. It's probably like $300 for the year or whatever it is. But you could watch, it's not like the Red Zone, for example. Like you could, at 1 o'clock, you could flip between every game. You could watch Giants versus the Bills. And then if that game's getting bad, you could flip over to the Packers versus the Niners. So it gives you exposure to every game being played throughout the day. Ethan, thank you very much, man. He says, I really like Torrance and Banks. Banks has definitely moved up, right, due to his strong combine, right? He ran like a 4.34, long arms, press corner. Makes sense. So I think he'd be a good fit. Torrance, I saw a stat today. I think he had, in his whole career while at Florida, never gave up a sack. I think I saw that today. I don't know how much that translates to the NFL, but I saw that, and obviously he's the guy that's being talked about as being like the best guard in this year's class. So we'll see. We'll see what we end up doing with that first round pick. Let's see. I trust Shane to make the most out of our cap space. He will. I'm not worried about it. Tana streams make my day 10 times better. Well, Lee, hopefully you guys got a kick out of the blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. What's up, Marky, man? Thank you for popping. He says, Giants need to free up some space. They don't have much to spend. Leo needs to restructure. Yeah, I'd like to restructure Leo. I'd like to potentially well, no, I don't think they're going to restructure Adoree', but I'd like to restructure Leo. I'd like to get Dexter extended. Maybe that frees up $4 or $5 million on this year's cap. If they're going to extend Saquon, I'd like to get that done soon. So maybe that could be, that could give us a little bit extra money too. So there's some things that they could definitely do. More likes. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. Thanks for popping in. Jonathan says, I wouldn't mind seeing Jeudy and Big Blue for the right price. I would love Jeudy. I was banging the table for Jeudy at the trade deadline if the deal made sense. In the end, I don't know what the asking price was, but I would love Jeudy if the deal, if it's a deal that fits the price range for Joe Schoen. I think he would instantly come in here and be by far the best wide receiver that Daniel Jones has ever thrown to. And I think he'd fit the offense pretty well. So you bring him in, you get Wan'Dale back. Yeah, if the deal makes sense, I'm all for that for sure. And he's still affordable for the next 2 years on a rookie salary. Nico, late to the party, but like the Shep reset. Yeah, let's talk about that. People yesterday, let me read the rest. With the market this year, the connection is there, open. He could stay healthy. Yesterday, people were going crazy. People were going bananas when the Giants announced that Sterling Shepard was coming back. And listen, I was kind of like, either way. Like, if they don't bring him back, I understand it. He's going to be like a 5th or 6th receiver on the depth chart. And generally speaking, you want that guy to be a contributor to special teams, something that we struggled with mightily last year. But am I going to freak out over Sterling Shepard signing a contract for a near league min salary? What are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? They brought Sterling Shepard back on a contract for $1.1 million because they thought he was a really good influence in the locker room. He's a leader, and he's a guy that when he's healthy is a solid wide receiver still at this point in time. What are you complaining about? If Sterling Shepard gets hurt, they call up a guy from the practice squad. It's not like he's affecting the salary cap. He's getting paid nothing. He's getting paid nothing. What's the complaint? I don't see the complaint at all. So I was completely fine bringing Sterling Shepard back. There's nothing wrong with that. And him getting $1.1 million, that doesn't guarantee that he's even making the team. They could probably cut him if they want, right? So if he goes into training camp and he's not doing well and he isn't worth a roster spot, he's not making the team. To me, that's just a contract where they say, come back, rehab, we'll see how you look at training camp. And if he earns a spot, he earns a spot. I don't see why people are complaining about it. I don't see why people are complaining about it. Let's see what we got. Ian, what's up, Dana? I hope we sign David Long. You and me both, man. I'm a fan of Long, especially for the price that I think he's going to go for after seeing some of these other linebackers sign. But somebody may overspend. We'll see. But if he's in that $6 to $8 million range, yeah, I'd like to bring him in. Jason says, yourself, Big Blue Banter, and Big Dash knows are my go-to Giants content creators. Keep the content going. Any tips to start my own podcast? Stand up. I mean, my tip, man, get a computer, get a camera, get a mic. That's it. Talk about a team that you love. You don't got to spend what I did on this mic if you're starting out. Just get an $80 mic, $70 mic, and just talk about the team that you love, man. That's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. When I first started, I used to like edit all my videos, and I used to like in terms of like I would cut out all my ums and my ahs, and I would try to make it like free flowing. And now when you watch my videos now, I go, like I just talk as if like I was talking. So to me, I think there are some channels that I think spend way too much time in terms of editing, in terms of, trying to make the optics look good. And I'm not saying that's not good. Of course, that's important. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is what's coming out of your mouth. People are coming to you because they want to hear your opinion. And they want you, even if they don't agree with you, they want you to present it in a way where they can say, okay, I gained some value out of that video. I still may not agree with anything that Chris just said, but at least now I can see it from his perspective. And I think that's important when you're talking about it. So whatever your opinion may be when you're talking about it, if you're starting a Giants channel, if you're starting a Cowboys channel, if you're starting an Eagles channel, whatever, I think the most important thing is when you make content, provide facts, provide analysis, provide a reason for having the opinion that you do. I think that's the most important thing. But let's see. And Tyrell says, do you think a trade is coming soon? I think it's possible. I think it's possible that a trade is coming soon. Here's what I'll say. Bobby has loose ties. Bobby from Talking Giants. He has some like legitimate sources from within the building. I can 100% tell you guys that. Who it is, I don't know. He never tells me. Okay? Texted Bobby today. Bobby told me he's heard, not that it's going to happen, he's heard rumblings that Jerry Jeudy could happen. And I heard a similar thing from somebody else that I talk to on Twitter periodically. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. That doesn't mean I expect it to happen. It means that there's a little bit of conversation from within the Giants building, perhaps, for going out and getting Jerry Jeudy, if the right deal is there. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but the Giants are at least, I guess, entertaining it. Let's see what we got. Zeke! Somebody said Breida's back. I'm all about it. Breida had one of my favorite plays of last year, and I think it was the Vikings game in the playoff game where he fought for that extra yard, whatever. I think it was the Vikings game. I think it was. That was one of my favorite plays of last year. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy to have Breida back. I'm assuming it's probably a really cheap salary, but I like that. I like that. I like that move. Zeke, what's going on, man? He says, yo, beloved, I loved the Shep signing. Jones is paid. An alpha target tight end wide receiver has to be next. Let's go, Joe. What's going on, Zeke, man? Thanks for popping in. I see no reason not to like that signing, to be honest with you, Zeke. You're not risking anything. So, yeah, if he's not good enough, he doesn't make the team out of camp, whatever. He's going $1 million against the cap. He's a leader in the locker room. I'm glad to have him back. He's one of my favorite Giants. 1 year, $2.3 million. So he got a bit of a raise. I think he got about $1.1 million last year. Market goes up. He played relatively well for the Giants last year. So now you look at the Giants running back core. Barkley's back. Breida's back. I don't know if Brightwell's still under contract. Is it? Somebody in the chat let me know. Is Brightwell still under contract? I'll look if nobody lets me know. If he's not, I still think we're drafting a running back because there's so much. It's a very rich running back draft class. I think we're going to take one day 3, round 4, round 5. And I'm hoping this year that the Giants finally get that thumper. Like, we need that big-bodied back. I feel like it'd be a really good compliment to both Saquon Barkley and Breida. And we could use Barkley a little bit more in the passing game. I want one of those big backs, man. So Brightwell's still under contract. So there you go. So we'll see. I still want to draft the running back, like in like the 4th or 5th round. I'm hoping we draft the running back, but I'm glad that Breida's back. I like Breida. So Giants are bringing back a lot of their own. Well, what's going on, man? Thoughts on Bobby Wagner? Would that be cheap? No, it would not be cheap. Bobby Wagner had a really good year last year. If you look at the metrics, he had like a PFF grade over 90, and he's still young. He's still one of the better linebackers rather in football. So no, I don't think he would be cheap, and I don't think he's in the market for the Giants. What's up, LA Yankee King? He says, all I want is for Joe Schoen to do with in-house is restructure the contract of Leonard Williams. 3 years, $33 million. He ain't signing for that. I mean, from your lips to God's ears, he ain't signing for that. No way. There's no way he's signing for $11 million a year. We save 12 if we cut him. He ain't signing for $11 million a year. $11 million a year next year is going to be like a fringe backup defensive tackle, like the way that some of these contracts are coming out. So he's not signing for that. You might be able to get him for 15 as he's aging. Maybe you get him for an extension of 3 years, 45. On top of the 32. It kind of equates out to a little under $20 million a year over a 4-year contract rather than paying him 32 this year. You could space the money out. I could see something like that. Jackson, I don't think we're extending Jackson. Jackson's due to make almost 20 this year. He would never take an extension like that. And I don't think Adoree Jackson is going to want to sign an extension with the Giants, if I'm being honest, because he's young. It has nothing to do with not wanting to play for the Giants. He's still young. He's 26, I think. I think he's going to be 27 next year. Maybe he's 27. He'll be 28 next year. But if you're Adoree Jackson and you get the ability to hit free agency in an increased market next year, what's your rush? Leonard Williams is a different story. He's going to be like 32, right? So I don't see Adoree Jackson rushing to try to get an extension done with the Giants. Leonard Williams makes more sense. I think that's certainly a possibility. Gano, I don't think that'll happen either. But I'd like to get Leo extended if possible. And that could free up hopefully $10 to $12 million on this year's cap. Blue Monkey, he says, why are the Giants paying players that are injury prone and terrible signing on the punter? I didn't like I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to cry about the punter signing. It's a punter at the end of the day, and it's a very cheap contract. I'm not going to cry about it, but I didn't like that signing. Like when I woke up this morning before work and I saw that we re-signed the Scottish Hammer, I was like, really? Like, I don't care what the guy's getting paid. Like, really? You couldn't find a better punter than that? And I know he's got a big leg, and my line of thinking has to be that Shane and Dable and the Giants must feel like he's got a lot of potential because he's got a big leg, and they hope that they could improve him in terms of being a better directional punter, pinning teams from within inside the 20. He was awful in that category last year. I think he ranked second to last in the NFL last year in terms of in terms of a percentage basis of pinning teams inside the 20. So I'm not in love with that extension. I wanted them to improve on that spot. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to go bananas. It's a punter. It's a cheap punter. But we'll see. I mean, they still may bring in a guy for competition, and I don't know how much is guaranteed in that contract, right? So they may bring in an undrafted free agent to compete with him in training camp, and if he loses the job, he loses the job. But, yeah, I didn't love that move. I'll be honest with you. Just the guy, what's going on, man? You mean a running back like B? This guy is dying for Robinson. Blue Monkey says, so far we have not improved one bit. I'm sorry. I mean, we haven't. We haven't really made any signings in terms of outside acquisitions yet. I think we will, but we haven't yet. Outside of the D tackle, he's a depth guy, which we need. He's probably an upgrade over Ellis. Ain't saying much, but it's an upgrade. It helps, but that's not like a huge impact player. So I agree. Well, here's what I'll say. I think the players that are on this team are going to improve next year. Like Jones, I think will be better year 2 in the scheme. But in terms of bringing in outside talent that helps improve the team, no, we haven't brought in anybody yet. So I agree, but I think we're gonna bring in some pieces. Kyle, what's going on, man? Would you rather the Giants get Judy and Drew or get a it depends, Kyle. Does the 10 out of 10 girlfriend last at least a year? Right? It's all about contracts. If the girlfriend's only going to last like 2 or 3 months, that's kind of like the Derek Carr contract. The Derek Carr contract, you knew, was a dumb contract from the beginning because they were going to be able to cut him after the first year because it was only a $5 million hit when everybody saw the $120 million salary. So if it's only a 2 or 3 month thing with the 10 out of 10 girlfriend, what good is that? It's just going to make you heartbroken. Am I going to get at least a year and maybe an opportunity to see if she could develop into a franchise quarterback? Well, that's a different story. So I don't know, Kyle. We got to talk about we got to talk about how long is that going to last, right? So if I'm guaranteed at least a year and see if it could turn into something, I might go with the girlfriend. Greg C, what's going on, man? Epps to the Raiders. All right, so some deals starting to go down. Blue Monkey says, would you be mad if they drafted Kincaid? Yeah. I'm not gonna say I'd be fuming because I do like Kincaid, but he's a tight end. I remember watching him in college last year. I like him a lot, actually, but I don't want to draft the tight end in the first round. I wouldn't be fuming, but it's not my ideal pick. Yeah, I know Breed is back. Bates signed with the Falcons for a ridiculous contract. He got like $16 million. I will say this about Bates, though. Every time I watch that dude play, especially in the playoffs, he shows up in a big way. He's a good player, but $16 million a year? I was a little bit surprised. He got paid big. 49ers, $84 million deal with Hargrave. Maybe it's a pathway to Ayuk. Maybe they're not going to be able to pay Ayuk. Wishful thinking. Tyrell, man, thank you very much, man. Any reliable offensive line options in free agency? Yeah, I think the dude from the Eagles. Let me pull it back up. I lost it because I went to Twitter. We'll look at the best available free agents. But I think the dude from the Eagles is probably the best available. I don't know what his market is, but he's still kind of young. He's 29. He had like a PFF grade in like the mid-70s last year. Right here is the 27th ranked overall ranked free agent. Siamalo, he's a guard, 29 years old. So he's probably the best one. And then after that, because I'm not even looking at tackles. We're not signing a high-priced tackle. Obviously with Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas. Powers already signed with the Broncos. A lot of people were talking about him as a possibility. Will Hernandez, I don't think we're signing him, right? From Arizona. You've got Dalton Reisner. He was actually a guy that I liked coming out of the draft. I don't know how he's played since he's been in the pros, but he was a guy I actually liked coming out in the draft that year. He's a guard that's available. And then you've got Garrett Bradbury, who's a former first-round pick center from the Vikings. He's available. So there's some, like, okay options that the Giants maybe, depending on what their markets are, could look to bring in. But regardless, I still want to draft the guy. But there's a couple of okay options out there. Nothing that's knocking my socks off. There's a couple of okay options. And let's see. Word, what's going on, man? Stand up. What's going on, Word, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Justin, what's going on, man? Is Tony Jefferson still on the team? I read he wanted to add 10 pounds and play more. Yeah, I think he's a free agent. I think. Let me double check with you on that. Yeah, he signed a 1-year deal last year with the Giants. Basically like a vet min. 1 year, 1.2. But he's clearly a guy I could see the Giants bringing back, especially due to the fact that he was brought into play in this defense specifically. So if it's a similar contract, something that's probably not going to affect the cap, I could certainly see them bringing him back. We'll see. Scott, what's going on, man? The Scottish Hammer likes to nail the ball in the end zone when we were in plus territory. Scottish Hammer, he's got a leg, but he ain't much. He's not a very good punter, in my opinion. But he may develop into something. Obviously, they like him. Otherwise, they wouldn't have signed him back. So hopefully he develops into something. Would you rather have Solder at right tackle or a girlfriend with hairy armpits? That's easy, Kyle. That's easy. Would I rather have Nate Solder at right tackle or a girlfriend with hairy armpits? Simple. Take the girlfriend with the hairy armpits because you know what? All I got to do, it's just funny that I had this here. I had one. I don't know why I have this. I had a razor blade here. One extra spare razor blade. All I got to do, Kyle, is go to 7-Eleven or go to a Target and do a little bit of this. You could get rid of the hair. You can't get rid of Nate Solder if you're paying him $20 million a year. That's easy. Take the hairy armpits. Let's see what we got here. And nowadays you can get surgery for that anyway. You get the laser surgery. What's going on, Nona, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on there, Jacob? What's up there, Carrie says, I'd be annoyed if we pass up Bijan at 25 and sign the Cowboys. We'll see. What's up there, Danny boy? What's up there, Swing? He says, peace, Tana. What's the good word? Nothing major. We brought back Breida. We brought back Shepard yesterday. We brought back the Scottish Hammer, the punter. We signed a depth defensive tackle, but nothing major yet for the Giants. Nothing major yet for the Giants. We're still waiting. We're still waiting to see if something, pretty big goes down. Something pretty big goes down. Hopefully something happens today. We'll see. Tony Gunkman, he says, can we just turn this into a Would You Rather stream? All right, breaking. Joe Schoen was found to be without internet at his home this afternoon, per Jordan Renan. Seems that way, right? I know a lot of Giants fans are going out there flipping out. You guys still have your pulse, right? You guys still okay? You guys still breathing? A lot of Giants fans on Twitter acting like they're going to jump out of buildings going crazy. You guys all right? You guys okay? Relax. We're going to bring in some pieces. Relax. What's going on, Luann? Thanks for popping in the stream. Big Backs, I'll give you one. Yeah, I've actually watched him a few times, Yash. And he is a big boy. I have watched him a few times. I watch a lot of Pac-12 games. I have watched him, and I like him. Yes, a little bit, Adam. A lot of people have talked about him being a potential target at 25. Man press corner. I've watched a little bit. Not a lot, but I have watched him a couple of highlights on him. Nothing major, though, but he's a possibility at 25. I've seen him mock to us a couple of times. How can we be mad? We signed our franchise quarterback. Relax. Don't say that too loud, Will. Don't say that too loud. You might get killed. Don't say that too loud. What's up there, Easy Lopez? Rather re-sign Golladay or have Joe Judge be your first man at your wedding? Oh, wow. That's tough. Well, no, I'd rather re-sign Golladay because I'd sign him to $1 million contract. I ain't giving him $18 million a year, but if I could sign him to $1 million contract. Blue Monkey Man, thank you very much. He says, if we don't upgrade the wide receiver spot with a legit weapon and the middle linebacker spot, prepare for 6 wins. I'm a realist. These guys we signed back, we lost with. I want winners. Mike Singletary. I think we're going to get winners. I do. I think we're going to get winners. Let's let the offseason play out. Here's what I'm going to keep going back to, Blue Monkey. I don't think Joe Schoen's a dummy. I think Joe Schoen's a pretty smart guy. And there's a reason why he structured Daniel Jones' deal the way that he did. There's a reason that it's only $19 million against the cap year one. Not because he's going to go out there and spend like a lunatic, but he's going to bring in a couple of pieces. He's going to bring in a couple of pieces. They might make a trade. They're going to bring in a couple of pieces. They're not going to go all in. They're not a Super Bowl team yet. They're going to bring a couple of pieces, and they're going to focus on the draft. Tyrell says Eagles lost another starter. Who'd they lose now? I know they already lost. They lost Hargrave. I'm assuming they're going to lose Bradbury. They lost. Who'd they lose now? Who'd they lose now? Let me know. Oh, Epson Dillard. Dillard never really worked out for them, right? He was a first-round pick for them. Who I actually liked coming out of Washington State, I think it was, where he went to college. I actually liked him in that draft as a guy that we could have potentially taken in that with our third pick that we traded up for DeAndre Baker, but he never worked out for the Eagles. They lost Epps. Right. Somebody told me that earlier. So, yeah, they keep losing pieces. That's good. The more the merrier. Pruzy says, Breida coming back on a one-year contract. Yeah, we heard about it earlier. Just reported, sounds like Davante Adams may request a trade at the right price. Would be the only problem I see with the Davante Adams scenario that people have brought up to me in the past. His contract is enormous when you look at the cap hit. It's out of this world during the back end of that contract. So I don't know if we'd want to take that on, especially he's not like the youngest of guys. I think we'll probably look elsewhere. I don't think we'll trade for him. David, man, thank you very much. He says, Giants signing Nunez. Yep, it was a good move. Whatever. We needed help there. We needed depth on the defensive line. I'm completely fine with that. It's just that fans see that first and they go crazy. They like if that was like a cherry on top move after we made a couple of other moves, like we got a starting linebacker, maybe you got a fringe starting wide receiver, maybe a corner. And then you made that move, people be like, yeah, that's great. We needed depth on the D-line. But because they did it first, people are going crazy. But I promise you, we're not done. We're gonna bring in a couple of players, I promise. What's up, Roman man? Thanks for popping to the stream, man. Uh-oh. OG Knockout says people are coming for me. Go ahead, come for me. What are you going to do? He says, yeah, because he's a franchise game manager. That's what he is, Chris. If he doesn't work out, people are coming for you. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. But right now, I don't feel I'm wrong about DJ. Come for me. I don't know what to tell you. I've never once said that I think Daniel Jones is a franchise 15-year quarterback. I said I want to find out what he is over the next 2 years as we build up the team. That's what I've always said. Always said that. If he turns out to be the next Eli Manning, great. If he doesn't, we have a better equipped team to support a rookie quarterback in 2 years. That's where I'm at with Daniel Jones. I think he's going to get better. Whether or not he reaches the level that he needs to reach where I'm like, I'm all aboard, give him the 6-year contract. I'm not there yet. He's got to get better. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Tana, me and Alex were having a discussion earlier. I would give up a second for Judy. I would definitely give up a second for Judy. Thoughts on DJ Chark? I like DJ Chark. I don't know what his market is. The thing is, we haven't seen the wide receiver market develop yet, right? Has there been a wide receiver yet that has signed? Has there been a wide receiver yet that has signed, guys? Like a high-profile free agent or one of the bigger names? Not that there's many of them, but like Juju hasn't signed, Hardman hasn't signed, Beckham obviously hasn't signed, Myers hasn't signed. I don't think there's been a wide receiver that's signed yet. So we haven't really seen the wide receiver market quite develop yet. So once we see one of those guys sign, we'll at least have like a grasp of the price range for a guy like DJ Chark. So it's kind of an unknown right now. We don't know what these guys are going to cost. Bad Dog signed. All right. I like Mecole Hardman for the right price. I don't like him for $10 million a year, but I like him for the right price. Thoughts on Gates going over to Washington? I'm happy for him. He's getting an opportunity to play. I'm happy for him. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a good idea that he was going to leave probably like week 8 because Patricia Traina, every time I brought up Nick Gates to Patricia Traina, she's like, I don't think he's coming back. So I had a feeling he was going to leave this year, this offseason. So it's unfortunate. I know he's a fan favorite. I know we all love him. Best of luck to him, man. I know it's with a rival, but I'm not going to hate Nick Gates. Best of luck to him. What's up, Justin, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Get Joe Shane a plate of... Let's see. Tana, the Giants just traded you to the Cowboys for 7 first-round picks. I would gladly play for the Cowboys if it meant the Giants got 7 first-round picks. How much do you guys think Odell will get paid after coming off? How much do I think he's going to get paid? Now is the question, how much do I think he's going to get paid or how much do I think he should get paid? Because what I think he should get paid is completely different from what I think he will get paid. I think it was very strategic what Odell Beckham decided to do. Very strategic when he decided to wait out the offseason because he saw that the number one available wide receiver was going to be Jacoby Myers and that the number two was going to be like Juju Smith-Schuster. So he saw it was a very thin market with a raised salary cap. He said, I'll wait it out. I'll get even healthier. I'll have a workout that hopefully impresses 3 or 4 teams, and I'll get paid. What he should get paid coming off of 2 ACL tears, and he's over 30, probably like $7 or $8 million a year with some incentives. What do I think he will get paid? He's going to get at least $13 or $14 million. I really believe that. I think a team's going to pay him more than they should. And if he reaches his heights, he'll be well worth that money. But to me, it's way too big of a risk to give money like that. But I think he should get maybe 7 or 8 with incentives where he could reach maybe 13 or 14 or 15. But I would not give him a straight 14 or 15. My guess is somebody's gonna. Taco, what's going on, man? Stand up. New member, man. Welcome to the squad, buddy. I don't know who signs Odell. I don't know. I don't know the cap situations. I don't know what these teams are going to be willing to spend. I don't know who he impressed at the combine. I could tell you who I think he fits the best. I think that's the Chiefs. Maybe the Bills. But I don't know who's going to sign him. Big Moo! He says, Chris, are there any monster Gronk-like tight ends in this year's draft that we could get? I mean, you got the dude from Notre Dame. He's a monster. Monster if you watch him play. Monster. He's like 6'6". But he's going to go in the first round. Ain't happening. There's definitely a lot of good tight ends in this draft, though, and I'll talk about it more when I do the draft content. But Meyer, I think it's pronounced Mayer or Meyer. He's like 6'6". He's like, I don't know his weight. He's like 235, 2. He's big. He's big. So, yeah, he could be a really good tight end, but we're not drafting him. Good chance he doesn't even get to us. Washington from Georgia, yeah, he's another good one, too. But it's a really deep tight end class. Washington had a huge tight. He's another guy, though. I don't think he's getting a 57. He might get out of the first round. I don't think he's getting a 57. Laporta's good, too. Yep. X-Man, what's going on, man? What's up, Chris? I think the Giants have a plan in free agency and will draft smart. We need to trust Shane and this rebuild. Fans need to understand that. It's going to take time, man. It's going to take time. We're not going to just snap our fingers and everything's going to look great this year. We still have way too many holes, and he's going to do it right. He's not going to force the issue. He knows it's a multi-year process. But we're going to get better next year. But do you think Diop makes sense for the Giants? Yeah, a lot of people have like poo-pooed the idea of DeAndre Hopkins, and I understand it. I have not. Under the right circumstances, I'm okay with it. But the right circumstances include I don't have to extend you. If I could get you here and I don't have to extend you, and I get you for the 2 years for a fair price where I don't get to give up premium draft capital, yeah, I'm okay with bringing him in as a stopgap number one as I build up my young wide receiver core. But if I got to extend him, no, I'm out. You're 31 years old. You've had injuries. I ain't giving you an extension off the next 2 years. If I could bring you in where I got to pay you on average, I think it's like 17 or 18 when you factor in the money that they have to eat. Yeah, I'm okay with that. If it's a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. But I ain't going above and beyond. Let's see. Anthony says, Marvin Mims, wide receiver, Oklahoma student. He had a really good combine, too. And Bad Dog, obviously, because he's from Oklahoma. Bad Dog's brought him up a few times. Possible. And, yeah, he did have a really good combine. A lot of people were talking about him. Old Titbone says, if rumors are true that the Giants are interested in Nelson Aguilar, oh, God. Oh, no. No, I don't want Nelson Aguilar. I do not want Nelson Aguilar. And I think he actually did okay. When he left the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, but he's not very good. I don't want him. And Dustin says, what do you think of Mike Gesicki? I know a lot of Giants fans are like hyping him up because he grew up in the area, Jersey, grew up a Giants fan. I don't want Mike Gesicki. He can't block. I don't want Mike Gesicki. You could draft the guy. You could draft the tight end in the 3rd or 4th round. I don't want to pay Mike Gesicki. Don't want him. Do not want him. Personally, I don't want him. I'd rather draft. It's a rich tight end draft class. Get me a tight end in the 4th round that I could pay next to nothing. I don't want to spend money on Mike Gesicki. Don't want to do that. Let's see. Thoughts on the Bears move so far? I mean, obviously, they've brought in talent. Do I think Tremaine Edmonds was worth $18 million a year? Probably not. But yeah, I mean, they've had the most cap space, so you expected them to spend big. So yeah, I mean, they've been big spenders. Tana, based on missing on Edwards and Edmonds at linebacker, is linebacker your first priority in the draft? No. I still think we're signing a linebacker. I just don't think it's going to be Edmonds, obviously. But I still think we're going to sign a linebacker. It's still a big priority, but no, it's not a first-round priority for me. Let's see. You think Juju's a good idea? I don't think we're signing Juju. Maybe. The Baz says, "How is it a red shirt year? The offseason just started. Our fan, I don't know who you're referencing. Mark, it's CBS. This is the site right here. CBS. Let me refresh it. See if there's been any new signings. I don't know how regularly this updates. Right now, Davenport, according to them, is still available. Orlando Brown's still available. Bradbury, Poyer, Gardner Johnson, McGrary, Draymond Jones, David Long, Lavonte David. There's still a lot of guys available. Not the high-end guys. The high-end, like the top 5 guys are off the board outside of Lamar Jackson, who we're obviously not going after. So there's still some guys. We'll see. We'll see how we fill out the roster. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Eagles offense going to drop over 40 on the Giants again. Probably. Any news on Love? No, nothing that I've heard, at least today. You heard mixed things, that he may be coming back. He might not be coming back. What about trading for Brandon Cooks? I mean, it's got to be a really cheap deal. I'm not giving up a ton for a guy that's... Oh, he's still young. He's younger than people realize, but it's... for the right deal, yeah, but it's got to be the right deal. Madden says, I want Tremaine Edmonds. If not, I think David still has something in the tank and would be great to help Beavers. Well, Tremaine Edmonds is gone. Tremaine Edmonds signed for $18 million a year. So he's gone. But I definitely want to sign a linebacker. There's no doubt about it. I definitely want to sign a linebacker. Which young wide receiver do you think the Giants could trade for? I think Judy's obviously the name you've heard today, because reports have come out that the Giants talked about Judy during the trade deadline, and reports have come out that the Broncos are not necessarily against trading him. So I think that's the name. That's probably the most realistic name. If they're willing to trade him for the right price, that the Giants may entertain it. So we'll see. We'll see. I would like Drew Tranquill. Yes, I think he'd be a good fit from the Chargers. He could fit the defense as well as a linebacker. There's still at least like 3 good linebackers left that I think the Giants could go after. Nothing big yet, Andrew. Nothing big. Small stuff. Nothing big yet. I'd rather have T. Higgins too, but is he available? Of course, I'd rather have T. Higgins. But is Cincinnati looking to trade him? Chris, would you trade for Sutton? I'd trade for a lot of these guys. It comes down to their price. It comes down to what the teams are asking for. I think Jerry Jeudy fits our offense much better than Courtland Sutton. So I'd prefer Jerry Jeudy, but would I trade for Sutton? Sure, for the right price. Let's see. Anything on Love? I haven't heard anything on Love. Let's take a quick look at Twitter. See if there's been any updates from around the league. Jamal Dean signed for 4 years, $52 million. This coming out from Jordan Schultz. $18 million. Wow, that's not that much. Wow. I thought he'd get more than that. Wow. Jamal Dean only got... That was an hour ago. But I just saw it now. Wow, I thought he'd get more than that. Let's see what we got. Let's take a look at some of the beat reporters' timelines, see if there's been any updates. Somebody just added me on Twitter. Whenever somebody mentions Nelson, I guess Nelson Aguilar is starting to get rumored to the Giants. Hopefully, I'm not in love with that idea. Let me see. Let me share this with you guys so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Bob, man, what's going on, man? Patrick Peterson is, yeah, I heard about that earlier. He'll probably do okay there. He's a little bit older, but yeah, I heard about that earlier. He's okay. He's a depth guy. He's not a starter, yo Elvis. He's a depth guy. He's been in the league since 2014. He's, we needed it though. You need some depth pieces on your defensive line, but he's nothing special. Let's see. Let's take a look around. Let me type in Art Stapleton. Let's see what Art had to say recently. 16 minutes. Breida staying with the Giants on a 1-year deal with a max value of 2.3 with incentives. So, yeah, it's not 2.3 against the cap. That's with incentives. So we'll find out what the cap hit is probably tomorrow or when the contract officially comes out. But it's 2.3 with incentives. Let's see the notifications. Let's take a look at Dan Duggan. Let's see if he said anything as of late. Nothing recently. 26 minutes ago. So, go to Ian Rappaport. Rap sheet. Nothing new there. 21 minutes ago was his latest post. So, Epps being the latest signing. So, nothing yet. Nothing major recently. Let's see. Let's see. Bob, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. I already read that one. Yep, became a Steeler. I knew he wasn't a guy I had my eye on. Justin, man, what's going on? He says, you hate all the guys I love. If we draft Myers, Bijan Robinson, Washington, or sign Wagner, I'll be in your super chat talking. Hey, man, I don't want you to think I don't like those players. I do. I just don't like them for the Giants at 25. I like those players. I think they're good, very good players. I just don't like them for the Giants. Yeah, Breida's coming back 2.3 with incentives. So we don't know what it is in terms of against the cap. It's very possible it's like 1 million against the cap like it was last year. But if he rushes for a certain amount of yards, he'll hit. So I'm pretty sure the way that those incentives work. So say it's in the contract where if he rushes for 600 yards, he gets an extra $1 million. Just throwing a number out there. That $1 million goes against the cap the following year. I'm pretty sure. Like when you reach incentives in your contract. So against this year's cap, it's probably only going to be like $1 million or a little bit over $1 million. But if he reaches his incentives, it could be like essentially a dead cap. And if you don't bring him back the following year, if he hits it, maybe it's $1 million against next year's cap or something like that. Let's see. Gates to Commanders. Yep. Who's taking so long for Jerry? What's taking so? I mean, he may not even be traded. He's not a free agent, man. Why pay Saquon if we could bring in? Well, because maybe they don't want to use their first round pick on a running back. And you don't even know if Robinson's going to be there when we pick. It's not like we're picking 25th. Like he could easily be off the board. What's up, Ron, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. Wake up, sleepy Joe Shane. Please don't cite 26. He's coming back. But it's going to be, I don't think they're going to give him the moon and the stars. No Met says, what's the stats of players reaching incentives? Percentages seem low. It depends on the incentive. It depends. I mean, each contract is different. Like, I think Daniel Jones is going to reach some of his incentives. He's got Daniel Jones has realistic incentives that he's probably going to hit. And then he has really high-end incentives that there's a good chance he won't hit. Like being a top 5 quarterback, right? But then he's got top 15 quarterback. Good chance he hits that. Top 15 in passing yards or top 15 in touchdowns, whatever it is. Good chance he hits that, especially if he stays healthy. So each contract is constructed differently. Let's see. Do you feel like we missed on Ramsey? No, I don't. I don't think the Giants wanted to bring him in for that contract. But, I mean, it was a good deal. They only had to give up a 3rd-round pick. But the reason they only had to give up a 3rd-round pick is because of his contract. If you had a choice, who would you rather? And by the way, it is a fully committed contract. I think they restructured that deal after the Ramsey trade where they had to they made it so it's fully committed. And he ended up getting an extra $20 million guaranteed out of it. So they had to give him a lot of money. If you had a choice, who would you rather go after, Poyer or CJ Gard? I would love to steal CJ from. Well, CJ's leaving the Eagles regardless. So if we don't steal him, somebody else will. And I'd probably prefer Poyer. If I had to pick between the two. What's up, Carlos? What's for dinner? Where the hell's Roll? Who knows where Roldy is? Roldy. I'll tell you where Roldy is. This is where Roldy is. Roldy's at home right now, and he's got his head slammed into his pillow, and he's cursing. He's cursing into his pillow at the top of his lungs because the New York Giants brought back Daniel Jones. I wish I had a pillow. This is Roldy right now. Imagine the Saquon Barkley jersey's a pillow. Motherfucker. That's what he does all day, 24 hours a day, because Daniel Jones was brought back by the New York Giants. True Rap List. He says, everybody relax. We all know the Giants need to bring in free agents and patch holes, and so does Joe Schoen. Sit back and enjoy the process, guys. We're going to build this team the right way. I'm not worried about it. Philip, man. And thank you, man. I appreciate it. Philip says, what did the Giants say to Gates as he went to Washington? Break a leg? No. Nah, man. He was a good guy. I'm not worried about it. He was a good guy. I mean, I don't want him to do too good with Washington, but no, I ain't hoping he breaks the leg or anything. I hope he does well. DJ Davidson is him. I think Davidson could be a solid depth lineman. I don't really probably view him as a starter, but he actually looked decent for the Giants last year before he got hurt. I don't think we missed out on Tremaine Edmonds. His market was just way too high. We didn't miss out on him. We just weren't willing to pay him $18 million a year. Hey, you Mad Dog do a draft live? Oh, yeah, we do every year. We alternate channels. He does day one. On his channel, we do day 2 and 3 on mine. And we do, like, draft talk the whole week. That's what we did last year, leading up to the draft. Do I play Wordle? I used to, not in a while. What's my favorite signing so far for the Giants? We haven't done much. I guess the Daniel Jones extension thus far. But we haven't done a whole lot yet in terms of bringing an outside free agent. So I'll let you know in a couple, hopefully in a couple of days. Hopefully I'll probably do this to like 8:30. We'll see. But hopefully by the end of this stream, there's something big to talk about. You know, hopefully we bring in Jerry Jeudy. Hopefully we make a trade for Jerry Jeudy by 8 o'clock. That'd be great. Bobby Skinner is a god. He is. Bobby Skinner is certainly a god. He is a very big god, and I love him. Let's see. Chris Fitzpatrick says, thoughts on Shepard coming back? I love it. There's no negative from Shepard coming back. I talked about it earlier in the stream, but there's no negative from Shepard coming back. Chris, when did you start the stand-up? I started the stand-up when I first started on YouTube, and it wasn't planned at all. I was just drunk in a stream, and I started just, I just started saying stand up, like not the way that I say it. I just stand up, Giants fans, stand up, Giants fans. And everybody in the chat just kept writing stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. And then it kind of just took off from there. Then I just said it, and it just grew, I guess. So it was just a off the top of my head thing that became something. What would you give up for Jerry Jeudy? Second and a fourth or fifth. I'd be okay with that. We're not going to get him for a fourth. That's not happening. Let's see. Report Giants trade for Eli Apple. Please don't say that. Don't bring that nonsense to my stream. What's up, Chris? Free going to be existing. Going to be standing in the casket too. Yep. If I've been rooting for the Giants this long, you're damn right I'm going to be rooting for them in the casket. Gabriel says, sign Hardman, draft Johnston. Johnston ain't going to be there. We'd have to trade up for Johnston. He ain't getting to us. I'd be shocked. He had way too good of a combine. Sid, man, thank you very much, man. Starting standing up when I was 3 in the UK. All right, there you go. You rather Diop or Jeudy? Jeudy. I'd rather Jeudy. I think Diop right now is probably a better receiver, but Judy's young. I'd rather have Jeudy. He's 24. He's a guy that could be here for a long time. So I'd be willing to pay more for Jeudy than DeAndre Hopkins. And Judy's cheaper right now. He's still on the rookie salary for like 2 more years. So, I think Hopkins is a bit better now, but Hopkins is kind of at his peak. Judy's still ascending. So I definitely be willing to pay more for Judy. Did David Long sign with the Dolphins? Oh, no. Oh. I don't like that one. I mean, I'm not flipping out. I'm still going to let Shane, build the team, and we'll see what he ends up doing in free agency. I know a lot of us expected a linebacker. We still may get a linebacker. But I liked Long. I don't like that one. I wanted us to get him. Let's see what we do. Let's see what we end up signing. Still a lot of players out there. Let's see how we build this team leading up into the draft. But I would have liked Long. There's no doubt about it. Levante David still available. Stopgap linebacker. He's 33 years old. How's your boy Joe doing now? Yeah, there's DL. How's your boy Joe doing now? The season's over. Matter of fact, DL, I agree with you. I think DL, there's the blah, blah, blah guy. I think because he didn't sign David Long, I think they should fire Joe Shane right now. I don't even think he should get an opportunity to make the first-round selection this year in this year's draft. I agree with you. He's garbage. He's garbage. Jackman and MY Giants 26, he says, if we want a starting linebacker, can't be passive, can't fill all the holes in the draft. Come on, Joe, bring him home. Let's see what we do. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll sign a center. Maybe we'll sign a wide receiver. Let's see what we do. Let's see what we do before we get to the draft. Let's see what we do. MD, what's going on, man? Damn, Joe, make something happen, brother. This roster needs work. Can't fix it all in the draft, homie. Let's see. We still got it all off season. Let's see what moves he makes. But so far, Joe's I don't think he's been asleep at the wheel, but he's waiting at the wheel. He's waiting for the right deals to come about. And Jason says, I skipped your super chat, John? Hold on. I'll find it. I don't mean to skip anything. Sometimes I get carried away when I'm talking to the chat and I miss one. I got you, John. I didn't mean to skip it. Sorry, buddy. Oh, no, I didn't skip it. I just read it. He says, maybe Joe isn't sleeping. He's just, oh, no. Well, no, I didn't skip. I did skip it by accident, but I basically just said what you said. And, yeah, I think Joe right now, I don't know if you guys have ever done an auction league, but I think that's exactly what he's doing. Like when you're in an auction league, you wait till the end because you know you're going to get better deals. I think that's what he's doing. He's waiting out the market, and he's saying, okay, I'll wait. I may not get the exact linebacker or the exact wide receiver that I want, but I've got like 4 or 5 guys that I like. And instead of ending up spending $6 million on this guy, I might get him for $3 or $4 million. And it'll allow me to, build a team, fill in a couple more holes. That's what I think he's doing. I think he's going to wait out this market, and we'll see who he ends up with. I'm not panicking. He's got a plan. He's smart. I'm not panicking. Let's see. David Long to the Dolphins, I believe 2 for $11. That's a good deal. That's less than I thought he was going to get. That's a good deal for them. I liked him. Long was dirt cheap. 2 years, $11 million. I mean, there's a reason it was 2 years, $11 million. Probably because the linebacker market was flooded, but I would have liked it for a deal like that. Max on the beat says Drew Tranquill is a solid linebacker. That's still available. His projected value is, listen, he can't go for much more than what Long got. He has really good numbers. So, yeah, that was another guy. I didn't mention him in my video, but I had him written down. I didn't mention him. Somebody in my comments said, yeah, Drew Tranquill's another guy I like. And several people have talked about him as being a potential fit for our defense. He's still out there. He's still available. So, there's still some options. And we'll go over some more of the options throughout the stream. But I liked Long. I would have liked Long. Harry says, we have all this money. We don't have a ton of money. We have some money. We don't have a ton of money. But, yeah, we got some money to spend if we have to. How many years are we going to be rebuilding? Well, that question is going to come down to Daniel Jones, right? That question is going to come down to Daniel Jones, and that question is going to come down to what they do this year. But I don't think we're going to be a Super Bowl roster. I don't think anybody thinks, regardless of who the quarterback is going into this year, I don't think anybody thinks we're going to be a Super Bowl roster this year, right? I mean, the way I look at it is, OG and everybody in the chat, you guys all hated Dave Gettleman. You all said he's a horrible job, and he did. Okay? He did a couple of good things, but overall he did a really bad job. So when the guy that you replaced did a really bad job, you're not going to snap your fingers and turn things over overnight. The first year Joe Shane was just getting out of bankruptcy, right? We had like the second or third worst cap situation in the league. He got out of it. He climbed out of cap hell. He was on food stamps last year. Made some draft picks. You hope that those guys grow over the course of their contracts. But this is not going to be fixed in 2 years. It's going to take a few more years. So hopefully by 2024, if he hits on his draft picks and those guys further develop, this team's ready to really compete for a championship. But he's not going to take shortcuts, nor should he. Have a weird feeling that he's going to take. Yeah, that's who I had going to us in my first mock draft. I could see it. He's got a lot to work on, but he's got tools, and he fits. And he's the type of corner that I think would fit our defense. It's because of our state tax. I don't know if it's because of our state tax. I know that's definitely at least a minor factor, but I don't think it's because of our state tax. Maybe with some of the guys, but let's see. Yeah, I know Long signed with Miami. Don't love that. ECK says this is wild. Relax. Yay, so another non-contending year. Well, did you expect it to be a contending year? I think we'd be a playoff year, but I don't think we're going to be a Super Bowl team next year. I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. Everyone would sign with the Raiders if it was about taxes. So the biggest weapon DJ has gotten is Sterling Shepard. Yeah, we got to get him some weapons. I ain't lying to you, King. We got to get him some weapons. We'll see what we do. I mean, to be fair, King, what do you want Joe to do? What do you want Joe to do? There's no who's the wide receiver you want him to sign in free agency, and we may make a trade, but it takes two to tango. So what do you want him to do? You want him to go out there and spend $18 million a year on Myers? I mean, come on. So there's and we'll see. I mean, I would like to trade for Jeudy. I agree with you. If the right deal is there, I'd like to trade for Jeudy. I agree with you. I think it'd be a good fit. Philip, man, thank you very much, man. Breaking. Giants sign Adam Sandler as the water boy. There you go. I honestly believe the G-Men sign OBJ incentive contract. Well, that would make a lot of the fan base happy if they did. It'd make a lot of the fan base upset. He's polarizing. So some people be really happy. Some people be really upset. Call on Gabe Davis. Do I really want to trade for Gabe Davis? What does the chat think about that? Do you guys want to trade for Gabe Davis? I don't know. Like, he's got potential. Don't get me wrong. He had the 4-touchdown game in the playoffs. Obviously from the Bills. Obviously Joe Schoen liked him. They drafted the guy, right? And he coached. He was the assistant general manager there. But do you really want to trade for Gabe Davis? I'd be okay signing him. But do you want to give up draft capital for Gabe Davis? I'm not in love with him. Will Wandell be ready for the beginning of the season? I've heard some people say they think he could be. I've heard some other people say they think he might not be. It's kind of up in the air. It's kind of like 50-50. So we'll see. We'll have a better idea, come training camp. I think it's trending towards he will be, though. That's at least what it seems like when you listen to some people. Can you believe that just a couple years ago we were going crazy for Kenny? I mean, it is what it is. That's the part of being a fan, right? The team brings in a wide receiver, you get excited. So it didn't work out. Did I watch the Oscars last night? Yes. Unfortunately, it was boring as hell. But I'm a big movie guy, so I did watch it. And Everything, Anything, All at Once won like every award. I think it won like 7 awards. It won Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Picture. I got to watch that movie again. I watched that movie because my brother was raving about it. My sister was raving about it. So I watched it, and I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal about it, but I got to go back and watch it again. I got to give it another chance. Philip, man, thank you very much, man. No trades, sign Davis, save capital for good debt. Well, Davis isn't a free agent, but yeah, if he was a free agent, I'd be more about it. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, I don't know. To me, it was kind of like a ripoff of The Matrix, right? Not quite as good as The Matrix. What's up, Gabriel says, I feel like we're quiet because we're trying to trade for a wide receiver herd they were looking before free agency started. They got a plan. I'm not worried about it. It was definitely odd, Mary. I didn't hate it. I just didn't think it was like best picture worthy. Dark Simi says, why no one talking about Devin Bush? He's another possibility. I don't know how good the guy is. He clearly didn't live up to expectations with the Steelers. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. He's still available. Wan'Dale was our best wide receiver prior to the injury. Well, he had a 100-yard game. That I like Wan'Dale. I still think Wan'Dale's going to be good. I just don't know what he's going to be coming off that injury, but I like Wan'Dale. DJ doesn't need a wide receiver one. Just get him number two true wide receivers. I mean, unless we're trading for one, I don't think we're getting a number one wide receiver this year. I think it'll be a multi-year process before we get our number one wide receiver if we don't trade for one this year. What's up, Anthony? Man, thanks for popping in, man. Be patient and wait for Aiyuk to become available. It's inevitable at this point. We'll see. There's over $70 million in Saquon, Williams, Jackson, and Lawrence contracts. How much can we free up? Jamil, well, Saquon, if we extend Saquon, I think they could probably reduce that $10 million hit to like 6 or 5 this year and kind of do the same thing that they did with the Daniel Jones contract and have it out after 2 years. So I think they'll probably do something like that if they extend Saquon. Williams this year, I mean, it would depend on the extension, but I think it's entirely possible that they could probably free up $10 to $12 million on this year's cap if they were able to extend Leonard Williams to like a 3-year extension. I don't think we're extending Jackson. I just don't think it makes sense on his end, more so than ours, because he's young. I think he's going to want to hit free agency. And Dex, I think it's like the same thing as Saquon, if I had to guess. If we got the extension done, you could structure it in a way to free up probably upwards of $5 million this year, if I had to guess. So if they sign Saquon, extend Dex, you're probably talking between $8 and $10 million freed up on this year's cap. And Leo's like another 10, maybe 12. So those 3 players, you could get around 20, maybe a little bit more freed up on this year's cap. Plus, you're going to save about 6, a little over 6 once the Golladay cut goes through, which I don't think it's gone through yet. Philip says, Giants just signed a DT. They signed another one? Because they had already signed a DT. Did they sign another one? Yeah, no, Philip, they already signed. He's a depth guy. They already signed him. He's a depth guy. He's not a starter. But, yeah, they signed him earlier. Unless they signed a new one. Stand up. What's going on, Hank? Man, thanks for popping in the stream. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Philip. They signed him like maybe like 2 hours ago. But, yeah. They signed him like 2 hours ago. Zany says, breaking news, Giants signed JPP's missing finger. Come on, Phil. I know you're slow, but that's slow. They're going after Phil. No, Phil's awesome. One of my best subscribers. He says, just got off work, so I'm catching up, man. Well, thanks for being here, buddy. No, man, listen. It happens. Everybody, there's so many signings today that you don't, it's hard to catch up with everything. As of right now, the New York Giants 2023 ceiling is 11-6. Floor is, I don't even want to talk about their ceiling right now because I don't know what their team is. We don't even know half their roster right now between the draft and some of the free agents that we're going to bring in. And we don't know what these other teams are going to look like. So I don't know what their ceiling is. So we'll see. And Felipe, thank you so much, man, for the 99-cent donation, man. I appreciate it, man. After extending Daniel Jones, the Giants look to sign Tom Brady out of retirement. And John, he says, Wink is more nervous than we are. He needs linebackers. He needs linebackers, and he needs a corner. He definitely needs another corner, too. But I think we're going to draft the corner. So that's where I think we're going to attack that position in the draft early on. I still think we're going to sign a linebacker. And MY Giants 26 says, I'd be happy with DT. Our defensive line would be sick. Oh, with Dalvin Tomlinson, rather. I'd be happy with him, too. I mentioned him in my free agency video. I'd be happy with him, too. Again, depends on his price. Hey, Tanner, would you have done the trade for Ramsey? No, because of how much he costs. No. Only because of his contract. What's up, Anthony, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. MY Giants 26 says Buckner could be some defensive line. Yeah, let's take a look at let me take a look at some of the available free agents still. To me, it's kind of just waiting now to see who they're going to sign. Like, the big names are gone. Let me share this with you guys. And Jamil, man, thank you very much, man. Rank the wide receiver trade options. San Francisco, Denver, Bills. Gabe Davis is dead last. I don't want Gabe Davis. I don't want to trade for Gabe Davis. He's dead last for me. Ayuk, if he becomes available, is number one for me. I out of like the Fantasyland trade options, if you want to include T. Higgins in there, it's Ayuk, it's Higgins, and then it's Judy. And then Gabe Davis is like a far fourth. Those would be my if I'm ranking those four. Ayuk is one. I think Ayuk is going to be a borderline superstar when he gets put in the on a team where he's like the featured wide receiver. Like, he's really good. So Ayuk 1, Higgins 2, Judy 3. But I think Judy could be better than Higgins personally. But they're both really good. And then I'd have Gabe Davis a distant fourth. Sutton, he's kind of like comparable to Davis for me. He's kind of like comparable to Gabe Davis for me, Sutton. But yeah, let's take a look at the available free agents. I don't think there's been many changes here. I know Long signed. Let's see if they updated that. If they didn't, I'll refresh it. Because somebody said Long signed. I think he was in like the 40s on here. Where is he? Maybe I passed him. Hold on. Man, F Long. Yeah, he was actually 23rd. They still don't have him signed. So this is still behind, I think. Let me take a look. Oh, no, they have him now. Yeah, I just needed to refresh it. He's with Miami. So, at least according to their list, Poyer, Bradbury, Orlando Brown we're not signing. Marcus Davenport's still available. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's still available. Levante David, Ciamalo, Jacoby Myers. None of the wide receivers have signed yet. Dalvin Tomlinson's still available. Jadeveon Clowney. Bolton Schultz. So there's still definitely some names out there that have yet to sign. We'll see what happens, guys. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Davenport's overrated in terms of this free agency class. But that's a lot of people I've seen him have ranked really high. Felipe says we need to add some defensive backs. Can't go into the season with Darnay Holmes and Adoree Jackson. Well, that's not all we have, but I agree we need to add defensive backs. You got Aaron Robinson. Obviously, you got what's his name? The guy we drafted last year, who I really like. Why is the name escaping me off the top, man? But the corner we took in the third round last year, I really like. So we have some developmental players, but yeah, we certainly have question marks on the in the secondary. Jay says, does it show long? Yes. He saw. Yes, he's updated with the Lions. Cordell Flott. Yeah, we still have him. So we got some developmental pieces in the secondary, but I agree we need more talent there. And I think we're going to cut Darnay Holmes. By the way, he's $3 million we'd save on the cap. I think Flott is probably going to transition to the slot, and that'll be cool when I do the play-by-play, so I could rhyme. If not him, I think it'll be Aaron Robinson. AP, man, thank you very much, man, for the 99-cent donation, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, Gates is gone. It was a really good deal for the Dolphins. What would you pay OBJ or Myers? Myers, I'm not even thinking about because I just know his market is going to be ridiculous. Like, I already know we're not getting him. I think his market's going to be way too high. Odell, like I said earlier, like $8 million with incentives. I think I'd be willing to go there with incentives where he could reach, say, 13 or 14 a year. But I ain't giving him 10 plus where I know I'm going to have to guarantee that to him. I'm not doing that. So What happened? Oh, we got somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got a linebacker. We got a linebacker. Okay. What's the contract? What's the contract? What's the contract? What's the contract? Hold on. Let's look at some highlights of this dude. What's the contract, guys? What's the contract? We got ourselves a linebacker. Let's take a look at a couple things with him. Hold on one second, guys. We're gonna pull up some highlights as well. Okay. Okay. So last year he had a PFF grade of 73. He's 26, so he's still young. 6'1", 235. Let's take a quick look at him. So we got a linebacker. We got a linebacker. How long is the video? It's only 2 minutes. I want a recent one that showed maybe like a 5-minute video. Whatever. We'll watch this one. It's 2 minutes long. Maybe somebody in the chat said the contract. We're going to take a look on Twitter and see what the contract is. 4 years, 40. Is that the contract? 4 years, 40. All right, so $10 million a year. I don't know what the guarantees are. We'll see what that is. But we got ourselves a linebacker. Okay. All right. Let's go. Hold on one second. Let's pull up the video for you guys. This is against the Giants. I wish there was volume. Is it a good? No. All right, this is from a year ago, but he's still young, so whatever. That's relevant. Okay. Dropping back in coverage. We definitely didn't have linebackers that could drop back in coverage like that last year. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. Okay. Ooh. So you see that they used him a bit as a blitzer? Oh, yeah. Oh, you gotta catch that, Okereke. Dude, night and day. Night and day with our line. I mean, that's not saying much, but night and day in coverage, dude. Oh, come on. I like this pickup. I like this pickup. All right. There you go. There you go. You couldn't see. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just watched the 4-minute highlight and you guys couldn't see. I wasn't watching the chat, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to play it again. Oh, I love embarrassing myself on stream. Oh, it's always fun. Sorry about that, guys. So you got to see me react to nothing. Might have missed a couple of donations. MYGuys26 just pull up the highlights. Let's see our new starter. We're going to show it now again. I just watched it. I'll let you guys watch it. Let's see. And Jason says, we got our middle linebacker. We must have impressed Wink, Daves. You're going to see. We're going to get to watch him again. I like what I see. Bobby Oriki, I think it's pronounced, from the Colts. Big Blue says the cheap shot linebacker in the dude. I like the pickup. He looks athletic as hell, man. Side to side quickness. He looks good in coverage to me. And he's young. He's 26. So I like the pickup for the Giants. We all know that we needed a linebacker, man. And MY Giants 26 says he's a bowler. He nailed Danny in week 17. Well, the first highlight they show is in that game. Mythic says Super Bowl back on. Let's go, man. And Philip says, guess that beats me being slower. There you go. See, everybody embarrassed themselves. There you go. Okereke. So there you go. I like the signing. Let's take a look, guys. Hold on. Let's take a look, guys. Sorry if I missed a donation or two, but at least you guys got to laugh. That's what's fun about these streams. You guys got to laugh. Let's go back to the beginning. Okereke. Actually, the film breakdown was the one they showed against the Giants. It's from 2020, but that one was only like 2 minutes and it didn't have volume. Let me make sure it's showing this time. Okay, it's showing.
It looks like you lost another one.
Three offsetting penalties there at the face mask.
On 2nd and 3, Watson. And had it
Okay.
down right in his face.
Okay.
Notice for Deshaun Watson in the running game. Good job getting his hands up there. Yeah, that does a lot in terms of the kicking game for the Colts.
Watson. Give it to David Johnson to get the yardage. And your point from earlier, Rich, where it's not much yardage to get, but you got to be able to get it. The handoff and getting a little yardage inside.
The difference to learn about it, visit NFL.com.
All right, I muted the video. I muted the video. You don't like the music? You don't like the music?
In our nation's capital. Call on 2nd and 6.
There he's dropping back confused. Hold on. You tell me, when's the last time the Giants had a middle linebacker that could do this?
Complete turnaround.
Not that
nation's capital. Call on 2nd and 6.
When's the last time we had a linebacker that could drop back and
easy
cover?
versus the zone defenses of Indianapolis. Good play on the ball immediately.
You tell me.
Okereke, and then
tell
Tavon
me.
Wilson, 31, comes in with the hit as well.
And Ricard says, would you rather watch Chris' excitement or share the excitement if he actually showed the highlights? The play-by-play, though, A1. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much, man. Let's see. I don't know. I know it's 4 for 40. I don't know the guaranteed money yet. And Bob says he has big shoes to fill. He wears number 58 for sure.
Looking for the lead. Duvernay in motion. Handle. Oh, fumble. Edwards cuffs it up.
There he is picking up a fumble. Yeah, he's 26, so he's still young.
The defensive line. Was that Danico Autry, 96?
22 mil
I
guaranteed.
saw the 9. I
bad.
couldn't quite tell the second
Not
number. Popped that one free. And then there's Darius Leonard, and as he was trying to corral it, it popped up again for Okereke, number 58. Able to distribute, ball out of his hands quickly, keep it moving fast. Toss it to Dobbins. The play through. Some of those snaps errant because of it. And Edward, they kept him in the pocket in the first half. They haven't been able to here.
Good hit. There's a couple more plays you're going to see him drop back to cover.
Spinning by Dobbins. Picks over at the Indianapolis 32. And on first down, they give it to in the first quarter. As DeAndre Swift has his first carry today.
Good hit.
Going backwards.
Here's a play coverage. No, this is when he comes as a blitzer. He hit Stafford on that play. On a delayed blitz.
Off his spot, even though it's a play action pass. Yeah. You make it to the running back, but these defensive linemen for the Colts.
For Detroit, they hand it off to Swift, and again that ground game is bottled up.
Looks like he diagnoses the run good to me. A lot of hits behind the line of scrimmage. There is a coverage. Should have been a pick. There he is again. That's a nice pass break up there.
Has been Baker's most trusted target here the last couple of years on the Indianapolis 2-yard line. Hunt.
I like this guy.
Usually he plays up on the line of scrimmage, but you've always
Boy, Arch mentioned it. No pressure. They get it right there from Muhammad. Mayfield hit the pass.
Nice play.
Intercepted by Okereke. Colts down 17 points just a couple of minutes ago, and they you see him started 13 games for them as a rookie last season. Hunt
5 for 10. And Foles with the football. That's
The better quarterback.
a little hurry up offense now to give this to David Montgomery.
We got a linebacker, guys. We got a linebacker. So now we don't gotta worry about taking our linebacker in the first round. That's for sure. We got our linebacker. I still think we're gonna draft another one, but we're not taking one in the first round. So there you go, guys. Giants make their first big move. Giants make their okay depth signing. He's starting, dude. He's starting. Let's take a look at the contract. Hold on, let me go to Twitter. 22 guaranteed. We'll see how the contract breaks down. He had I think it was like a 73 PFF grade last year. But he's young, right? He's still only 26. Let me see. He's the guy that hit Daniel Jones, the late hit on Daniel Jones, right? Third round pick, 2019, was productive and durable during his 4 years in Indy. Major upgrade at a major weakness for the Giants. Trying to get the. Hold on. Do it, Art. I want to get the contract details if anything's out. Giants land Bobby Okereke, however it's pronounced, who had 17 tackles, 13 solos against the Giants on New Year's Day. Contract details and more updated via free agency tracker. 4 years, 40 million, 22 million guaranteed. So we'll see how they lay out the money once the contract details officially come out. But 22 guaranteed. So it's clearly going to be a deal that if they need to, the Giants will be able to get out of that deal probably after 2 years, certainly after 3. So my guess is they'll probably get able to get out after 2. But it's all going to come down to how they structure the contract. So $22 million guaranteed for the Giants. $40 million total, 22 guaranteed. Let's see. But we got it. There you go. You got a signing. We got a middle linebacker. We needed that. So we filled in a hole. We got some depth on the defensive line. We'll see how they continue to fill out this roster throughout free agency. And just because you see $40 million, that doesn't mean it's going 10 against the cap year one. Might go 4 or 5 against the cap year one. Let's see how they structure the contract as the Giants fill a hole. And let's see what they do with the remaining players on this team as they continue to try to fill holes. 34-inch arms, exact same as Edmonds, who is a middle-of-the-field eraser. And you paid a lot less for him. So now people could, let's see. I like it. I like it. We needed it, man. We needed a linebacker. Let's get rid of this. No, they're definitely not taking a linebacker round one. That's for damn sure. Scotty says, love the signing. Let's go, man. 3 years ago, we signed a 26-year-old linebacker who went to Stanford for $10 million. History repeats itself. Yeah, obviously, Blake Martinez. But $10 million today is cheaper than it was back then, too. So, yeah, think about that. Like, we signed Blake Martinez 3 years ago to $10 million. And I know we're seeing other linebackers go, but obviously the Giants liked him more than those guys, right? He's young, and he probably has more upside. So that's why they went that route. They probably feel like he fits the defensive scheme. What's up there, Cookie Man? Thanks for popping in, man. But, yeah, we paid Blake $10 million a year 3 years ago. And I think it was only a 3-year deal. I don't think it was a 4-year deal because Gettleman loved the 3-year deals. But it was $10 million a year. I don't know how much was guaranteed. This is 22 guaranteed. But I'm fine with this deal. I mean, that's what I expected to pay a linebacker. I expected to pay about $8 to $10 million per year. So that's what I thought our big signing would be. And it's probably going to be our big signing. Now, maybe we make a trade for a guy like Judy. We'll see. But they went out and they got their linebacker. So we needed that, man. We needed that. Gives us a lot more flexibility in the draft. Remind you of Boley. You don't want dirty players. No thanks. We need a linebacker. I'm okay with it. We really need another corner and receiver now. Let's see what we do, man. Let's see what we do. He could be our best linebacker. He's probably going to be. It's not saying a whole lot, but he's probably going to be. You hate it? I don't hate it. I can understand people think maybe we overpaid a bit, but I don't hate it. Michael says, great signing. He's a hitter and he could cover. Oh, he's definitely our best linebacker. Our linebackers last year were ass, so he's clearly our best linebacker. Yeah, you paid for him because he's in his prime as well. NY Giants 26 says, check Talking Giants Twitter for more info on him. Let me take a quick look. See what they said. Put up 283 tackles over the last 2 seasons. I mean, that's kind of like what Blake was, right? He was a tackle machine when we brought him in. But he clearly looks a lot more athletic than Blake Martinez did. Blake Martinez was a good tackler, but not really a guy that had the side-to-side quickness like he does. And a guy that could drop back in coverage. But, yeah, he had 283 tackles over his last 2 years. 4 years, $40 million, 22 guaranteed. So, I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. We need a linebacker. I'm glad that we got him. Yeah, Ogletree sucked with the Giants. The text message from an Indy fan? Okay. I mean, all I see is, unless it's from Bobby Skinner himself on Talking Giants, those are the only two tweets that I see. I don't know if Bobby Skinner dropped something. What Bobby said. Yeah, I don't see nothing. But Either way, I'm happy. We got a linebacker. Oh, it's Justin? Okay, Justin. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Harry, man, thank you very much, man. He had 17 tackles against the Giants. Yeah, 13 solo, 17 total, I think I read. I was at that game. All right, let's see. Our guy, Deeply14, is a Colts fan and a very smart football fan. Here's his summary. Emphasizes he's an athlete, ball hunter, and will be good against the... Well, I mean, just based off that highlight, it looked like that's what he is. Good side-to-side quickness. Looked like he was good dropping back in coverage, and it looked like he was good at diagnosing the run. You saw a lot of hits from behind the line of scrimmage, so he clearly has more upside, in my opinion, than a guy like Blake Martinez. He's a ball hunter, very good instincts for the ball, especially in the run game. Long and pretty solid tackler as an eye test. The debate on him is how he is in coverage. Indy scheme had the linebackers allow everything underneath, so the comp percentage was high. Don't know if he's a liability in coverage or it was a scheme thing, but he is a good athlete, which helps the thought he can cover. You think he's a pure Mike linebacker? He's played both, which is good with Leonard on and off the field the past couple of years. I think he could be solid at both. Based on my questions on the coverage, maybe he's an inside linebacker more than out. Well, he's going to play out inside linebacker for the Giants, so. But definitely looks like he's at least capable in coverage. Let's see. Let's take a look. Ricard says, trade for Judy and sadly say goodbye to Love. Well, I think Love's gone. I didn't think we were bringing back Love. It's from your former college football coach, really? I don't think we're bringing back Love. I'd be surprised if we do. There's a lot of safeties out there. Oh, compared to what he had, he's definitely Ray Lewis. Yeah, I just pulled up the Justin tweet. But yeah, I'm excited, man. We got a linebacker. So we'll see what we do. But I think step one is complete. That's what we needed. We needed a linebacker, and we got one. We got a young one, and one that I think will probably fit our defense well. So let Shane cook, baby. Nod says night and day from stuck in the mud, Jalen. Dude, it's not even close. Not even close. I don't think this is a deal that anybody should be going nuts about it from a negative standpoint. If you think it's a deal that you don't want to go crazy about, sure. But I don't think it's a deal. You want to say maybe we overpaid by a couple of million? Okay. He's young. He has upside. Obviously, they feel like he fits the defensive scheme. We needed it. He was clearly a guy that they liked. I'm good with it. All right. So you think he's worth $7? We overpaid a little bit for a young linebacker. We gave him $22 million guaranteed. I'm fine with it. I'm completely fine with it. I think we need to draft one. And I think we will. I just don't want to draft one in the first 2 rounds. I mean, it's $22 million guaranteed. It's a deal you'll be able to get out after 2 years if you wanted to. It's not a deal I'm going to freak out about. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, it's exactly. Look at it that way. If you want to look at it that way. It's 5. Yeah, it is, but it isn't. But it's only $22 million guaranteed. Yeah. He was rumored to be asking for 15. Yeah, I'll do a lot more research on him tomorrow when I do a video on him. I'm going to do videos on every free agent that we sign. So, yeah, I'll be honest, he wasn't one of the linebackers I looked at. He was high, though, on some lists. It's just way too many for me to go over. He was like top 5, top 6. I looked at Long. I looked at a couple of others, but I'll look more into him tomorrow. I'll have a video out on him tomorrow that's in detail, but I'm glad we got a young linebacker with upside. I'm cool with it. He retweeted a tweet saying he could get 12 to 14, and we got him. It's a depth piece, Kuda Bang. I'm fine with it. We need that, but he's not. I don't think he's going to be a big difference maker. Next gen stats. Okay. All right, let's pull up this article. Let me get rid of this. Whoops. NFL Next Gen Stats ranks Colts Bobby Okereke as the league's 5th best off-the-ball linebacker. The Colts' underrated linebacker earned some national recognition. Tackling score 93, coverage score 84, pass rush score 51. With 3-time All-Pro Shaq Leonard having been limited to 2 games this season due to injuries, Okereke has picked up the slack. The 26-year-old has made a tackle on 16.5% of his defensive snaps this season, the 6th highest rate among players with at least 300 snaps, but the Stanford product has made an arguably bigger impact in the pass game, allowing a mere 4.8 yards per target as the nearest defender in coverage, 5th among off-ball linebackers, minimum 20 targets. The 3-4-1 Colts are hanging around the AFC South race, and if they are to contend, Okereke maintaining this form might be just as important as Leonard returning to form. In a Colts' linebacker core that also includes 4-time NFL All-Pro Shaq Leonard, Okereke often flies under the radar. However, the 4th-year linebacker remains one of the league's better young linebackers, especially in coverage. On the season, the 6'1", 235-pound linebacker has recorded 78 tackles, 48 solo, 3 passes defended, and a fumble recovery during 8 games. Per PFF, Okereke is their 16th best linebacker overall with a plus 72.3 overall grade, highlighted by a plus 84.6 run defense grade in coverage. Okereke has been targeted 44 times for 32 receptions, 360 passing yards, and an opposing pass rating of 92.6. However, the next-gen stats clearly seem to present him in a more favorable light. The former 2019 third-round pick and future Hall of Famer is a free agent as seasons end, and with the Colts having already paid fellow starting linebacker Shaq Leonard and Franklin, Okereke could be a potential salary cap casualty this upcoming season and left to walk to sign a more lucrative deal elsewhere. That being said, Okereke is clearly playing well in a contract season, namely in coverage and tackling. That was an article on him early in the year. Next gen stats. I don't know if I could find. Let me get rid of this. I'll talk to the chat. Well, of course, he's not a future. I don't know if they were talking about him or if they were referring to Leonard with that comment. Because Leonard is obviously a guy that you would think would be a future Hall of Famer. So that might have been who they were referencing with that comment, not Okereke. So I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out when I stopped. Because I was like, I don't think they're talking about him. Let's see what we got. Ricard says, trade for Judy and sadly say goodbye to Love. Oh, I think I already read that one. And your disappointed father says, what round do you take someone for the O-line? Probably the second. That's probably where I'm targeting. I mean, I personally wouldn't be upset if we take a center in the first. But probably the second or third round. I think that's where we're going to target it. If we don't sign one, let's see what we do throughout the remainder of free agency. But I still think the first round is going to be a corner, potentially a wide receiver, but I think a corner. And then the second round is probably going to be a wide receiver if we go corner, and then maybe a center in the third. But center certainly becomes a possibility in the second. I think they're going to go BPA, so it's going to depend on value. But I think second or third round is probably where we go center if we go center, not in the first, if I had to guess. Twitter Next Gen Stats. Okay. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I mean, I don't know if there's more to it than this, but let me share it. This is just about him being tested. Bobby Okereke was tested often in 2022, facing the most targets of any linebacker, 78. Okereke held his own in coverage, allowing negative 2.3 receptions over expected and 5.9 yards per target. So he was throwing at a lot, dropping back in coverage for the Colts last year, and apparently based off their metrics, he did a really good job. Okereke should make an immediate impact at the second level of the Giants' defense. He generated 75 defensive stops in 2022, tied for the 10th most among linebackers. The Giants' linebackers combined for 87 defensive stops last season. What? That's crazy. Our linebackers were so... I will get used to the pronunciation, okay? It's a weird last name. Okereke. I will try my best. I will get used to it. So I know I'm mispronouncing the guy's name. Bobby Okereke should make an immediate impact at the second level for the Giants defense. He generated 75 defensive stops in 2022, tied for the 10th most among linebackers. The Giants linebackers combined for 80. So he had 12 less defensive stops by himself than our entire linebacking core last year. Wow. And we had 19 fewer than any other defense at that position last year. So obviously a tremendous upgrade over what we had, but who wouldn't have been? Who wouldn't have been? Yeah, I'm going to call him Bobby. But that's an insane stat. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm just going to call him Bobby until I get the pronunciation down. But I'm happy, man. Sitbone says, are staying on live till we trade for... I'm not staying on live till midnight. So hang out with you guys maybe for another hour or so. But good pickup for the Giants. Obviously, a huge upgrade over what we had. Yeah, that is pathetic. Our linebacking core as a whole. We had the worst linebacking core in football last year. So we knew that we needed this. That stat is ridiculous, but I wonder how many other linebackers are better than our whole... A lot. But it's still a big upgrade. We needed it. Sign Ben Jones now. I wouldn't be against it. We need help on the interior. 3-year, $12 million with $7.5 guaranteed. That's a bit more than I would have probably wanted. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look at what backup defensive tackles get. So that may be the going rate. All right, that's $2.5 million if you look at it from a guaranteed standpoint. Maybe a little bit more than I would have wanted. But I don't know. Like I'd have to look at what backup defensive tackles get. But how do you feel about Nick Gates? I expected it. I thought we were going to lose Nick Gates, so I'm not surprised by it. He's not going to be a starter for us, though. I know he was a starter last year. He started 10 games last year. I think he's going to be like a depth guy. He's going to get some snaps, but I don't view him as a starter. I think he's going to be more of a guy that you bring in for certain packages. Any Judy updates? No, I have not heard any Judy updates. I've not heard any Judy updates as of late. How late can they sign players? Will we sign anyone else today? Yeah, they could sign players all day. There may be a signing at midnight. Like it's open, so business is open. We'll see. I'll hang on for a bit. I'm gonna get dinner at some point, but I'll hang on for a bit. Any idea what the salary cap looks like now? No, because I don't know how they constructed these contracts, so I have no idea. We'll see after the contracts go down and how they construct them and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of things we could do to create space. I'm really not worried about it. If they want to sign some guys, we can. Is this Khalil Mack in his prime? Relax. He's a good player, though. He looks like a good player. Dylan, thank you very much, man. Would you bring back Landon Collins? Probably not. I know people love him, but probably not. He's older. I mean, if you get him back for nothing, I guess why not? But yeah, I'm focused on other things before I'm worried about bringing back Landon Collins. Thoughts on the signings? I mean, we got a linebacker, and it looks like we got a linebacker that fits our scheme well, and a guy that could drop back in coverage, something that we didn't have last year. Yeah, I'm happy. Based on what some of the other linebackers got, and did we overpay maybe a little bit? Sure. But I like the signings. $22.5 million guaranteed. I'm completely fine with it. Let's see what we got. We got a new starting linebacker, and we got a defensive tackle. Let's see. Chris, shame on you. Giants free agency takes precedent over dinner. Yeah, I like the signing, man. We need a linebacker. And I think we need to draft another one, to be honest with you. Yeah, and like I said, even if it is a slight overpay, I'm fine with it. Shane said they could afford expensive depth now. Said it in the presser. That guy's like 2.5 and we can afford it. Nunez Roches is guaranteed per year. I think that's, yeah. So, that is probably who he was talking about. Good point with the 2.5 comment that came out. Would you trade the first round pick for Judy? No. No. I would give up a second. I would give up a second and another pick, but I wouldn't give up a first round pick. Let's see. Javon Hargrave. No, he already signed. He signed a huge contract. He got $21 million a year. Hargrave. I'm feeling good. We got a linebacker. Listen, the way I'm looking at this deal, it's the same per year contract that Blake Martinez got 3 years ago. Just because a couple of these linebackers went for less than people anticipated doesn't mean that people should be going crazy over the value of this contract. You're getting a guy for $10 million a year, 22.5 guaranteed, that has a lot of upside. He's young. He's still getting better. So he's 26. Now we don't got to worry about drafting a middle linebacker, probably high in the draft for the next 3 or 4 years. He's a guy that hopefully will be an answer for the Giants for the next 3 or 4 years. I'm fine with it. Because obviously they liked him more than TJ Edwards. That's the obvious answer. Otherwise, they would have given TJ Edwards the money. Obviously, they identified him more as a better fit for what they want to do with their defense. That's why. Let's see. Yeah, same AAV, and that was 3 years ago. Or 2. Yeah, I think it was 3 years ago now. So the market is much higher than it was then. Why are people saying Hardman? Nothing happened to with Hardman, right? CJ Gardner-Johnson would cost way too much out of him. We'll see what happens with Love. I still could see us signing a safety if we don't bring back Love. That may be our other high-price signing or moderately price signing. I could see us signing a safety if we don't bring back Love, but we'll see. I prefer a corner or a receiver if we could get a decent receiver. My old Sitbone says, trust the process. I'm happy, man. We got a young, talented linebacker. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Yeah, he had drop problems, but he's also really good in terms of creating separation. But yes, he's not known for having the best hands. Did he really say that? Oh, come on, get Jacoby Myers. We're not getting Jacoby Myers. Do you know how much Jacoby Myers is going to get paid? When you see, your boy, how much Jacoby Myers gets paid, you're going to be like, all right, thank God we didn't get Jacoby Myers. You know how much he's going to get paid? I bet you he gets at least 16, 17, at least million a year. He might get over 20. Like last year, you saw what Christian Kirk got. And Jacoby Myers is the highest. He's the number 1 wide receiver in this class. He's going to get paid. And Bob, man, thank you very much, man. He says, reports of the Giants are showing interest in. Okay. Let me take a look. Hold on. Josina Anderson that was 6 hours ago that she came out with that. Let me come out with the latest. That's the corner from Jacksonville, right? If I'm not oh yeah, I heard about this earlier in the day. He's the guy that got burnt by Darius Slayton on that touchdown pass this year on the right sideline. How does he grade out? He's not very good. He's not a guy I'm going to be in love with if he's starting. Oh God, he's not very good. He's a depth guy, but not a very good starting corner. I wouldn't be in love. I mean, if it's a cheap deal, whatever, but not a guy that I want as like a starter or no, I'd rather draft a corner. No thanks. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I think Slayton's going to get a decent amount of money, more than what I think the Giants are going to want to pay him, which is why I don't think he's coming back. Love you too, Spencer, man. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Jordan Poyer, depends on his market. I think they're going to try to bring Love back, but depends on his market. Your thoughts on wideouts not being taken yet? I think I think that's exactly what it is. Giant takes. I think because of how thin the wide receiver market is and how the top guys aren't like your traditional top guys. Like Caramona just mentioned Lazard. He's kind of near the top. He's younger. Obviously Jacoby Myers, Odell, Juju, Hardman. I think the teams are waiting to see what the market develops because they don't want to overpay. They know how thin the market is, and they don't want to go out there and give Jacoby Myers $20 million a year, knowing that if they waited, they could have gotten Hardman for $7 million. So that's why I think teams aren't like jumping at the opportunity to sign a wide receiver yet because it's a very thin market, man. It's not like the linebacker. The linebacker was a rich market. There was a lot of good linebackers, so teams were willing to jump in at the beginning because there was like 6, 7, 8 really good linebackers available. That's why I think, teams aren't looking to, spend hand over fist at the wide receiver spot. Let's see what we got. I want McColl too, but only for what I think we should pay for him. I don't want to pay for what his projected market is, especially coming off an injury. Let's see. Tana, rumor is Edwards gave Chicago a hometown discount. He is from there. Okay. I mean, that might be why he signed as quickly as he did. This draft class is deep with wide receiver too. Wonder if that makes teams not spend them free agent wide receiver. I think it's just because it's not a very talented wide receiver class. How much? I mean, Judy's still in his rookie contract, Jay. So the question isn't what he makes now. The question is what is he going to make? You're going to end up paying him a lot of money once he hit free agency. Oh, of course I'm up for a fourth. Are you kidding me? Of course I'd make that trade. I think it's going to cost more than that, though. I think you're going to have to give up a second plus, probably more than a second, like a second and a fifth. Would you trade up to get a wide receiver in the first? If I really liked him, sure, but ideally I don't want to have to trade up, to be honest with you. What's up there, Giants Takes, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. ESPN gave Shane a C-. I don't really care. I don't care what they grade. Like, listen, Emmanuel quickly got a D+ by CBS Sports after the Knicks drafted him. What does that look like? It doesn't matter to me. It was a big need of ours, and we got it for $22.5 million guaranteed. I'm completely fine with the signing. Don't care. I'm going to trust Joe Shane. I'm going to trust this regime to identify players that fit the skill set I'm going to trust Wink to pick out a linebacker that he feels fits the skill set for what he's looking for in his defensive scheme. And if they paid a little bit more than maybe some people feel they should have because he's young and they like his upside and they like how he projects to fit in what they're looking to do defensively, I'm completely fine with it. Completely fine with it. And yeah, and by the way, over 1,600 people in here, by the way. Thank you guys for all the support you guys always show, man. I appreciate all you guys, man. All the support you guys always show on the channel. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully we make another signing before I end it, man. I'll be doing this again tomorrow when I get out of work. I get out at 4:30, so I'll probably go live around the same time, 5:05, hang out, talk about hopefully, who else the New York Giants signed throughout the day. Maybe they'll make some big signings when we're on. But appreciate all you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all the support. And Michael says, are you fine with $12 million for a D tackle, though? Which D tackle are we talking about? We talking about Dexter Lawrence? Michael, is that who you're referencing? Because he's getting 12 on the 5th year. And if that's who you're referencing, you mean the D tackle we signed? Well, he's not getting $12 million a year. He got 7.5 guaranteed. And yeah, I mean, that's probably a pretty fair rate for a guy that's at least like he's not like a strict backup. Like, I don't consider him a starter, but he's a guy that they're clearly going to have a role for. I think he's going to be in certain packages. He'll probably get 25, 30 snaps a game if I had to guess. That's probably the plan, especially paying him that amount of money. When you look at what some of these D tackles got, Michael, I mean, look, what's the name of the dude that we lost 2 years ago to free agency? When I saw his contract, my jaw dropped. The D tackle, somebody in the chat, let me say it. Who was the D tackle we lost in free agency 2 years ago? And he signed for like $8 million a year, and he played like 40% of the snaps for the Giants. Austin Johnson. Yeah, Austin Johnson. He got like $8 million a year. So you see what some of these guys, like, whatever. For a guy that's clearly going to have a role for the Giants next year, $7.5 million guaranteed, I'm okay with that. Let's see. And Sam Borowski says, Jamie Gillen, guy cost us games last year. How many punts blocked? Strong leg, but he can't kick one longer than 40 yards. Araiza is out there for nothing and can flip the field. I didn't love the Jamie Gillen signing. I'd be the first to say it. That doesn't mean he's definitely going to be back. For all I know, it's a deal that they could cut him and it'll be nothing against the cap. So I haven't seen the specifics of the contract. I'll talk about all these contracts when the specifics come out. It might be, like $1 million guaranteed or nothing guaranteed. I have no idea. So I didn't get an opportunity to look at the specifics. But, yeah, I hope they at least bring in competition for Jamie Gillen. But I'm going to trust them. I mean, he's got a big leg. He's just not good in terms of directional punting. I'm not a fan. I want it to move on. So it is what it is. I could understand them not wanting to bring in Araiza due to his off-the-field stuff, but regardless, I would have preferred them to bring in somebody else. From what I've seen from Gillen after 1 year, I'm not a big fan. But if they bring him back, I'm going to trust that they think he's going to get better. So we'll see. I don't like that decision, though. Hunter Fay says, not to be crazy, but Judy just landed in Newark. Relax. Relax, Hunter Fay. Relax. 1,600 people, only 500 likes. Come on, I appreciate that, Miss Lee. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. I appreciate it. Hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell. Thank you guys for being here. And Sam says he is not getting arrested and appears innocent. Yeah, I don't even know the specifics with that. I don't even know the specifics with the whole Araiza thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not saying he was a bad player, Emmanuel. He was a pretty good player. I was just surprised that he got $8 million a year, right? So that's all. I'm not saying he was a bad player. He was a pretty good player for us. And Kudabang says, Chris, your streams have been popping off. Keep up the good. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here, buddy. I get that all the time, Bavith. Matter of fact, Bavith, I swear, when I had Carl Banks on the channel, I thought I was looking at myself before I brought him onto the stream. A lot of times before I go live, like I'll have another one of me in the background because I pop it up in two windows by accident. when Carl popped into the stream, I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought I was going to hear an echo as I was talking. Because people tell me that all the time. Carl and me, we look so much alike. I get that all the time. Scott, what's going on, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. What's going on there, Spaz Out? What's going on there, Anthony, man? Thanks for popping in. We need a good coverage linebacker. Well, he at least appears to be pretty solid in coverage. Certainly better in coverage than anybody we've had in a long time at that position. What's up, Stu, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy. And Lucky Smith says, hey, Chris, what do you think about paying Dexter Lawrence? We gotta pay him, period. Like, we got to give him $23 million a year. We got to pay him. He's too important to this team. And Andrew says, cut Gillen. We won't need a punt. Exactly. We're not going to even need it. We're not going to punt once all year next year. That's what they're like. We just pay somebody. We're not even going to use the punter. That was their thought process there. Let's see. Bum we lost. Yeah, he got a boatload of money though. $18 million a year. He got a boatload of money. Savian, man, thank you. He says, I'm sorry I missed it, but can you quickly go over your thoughts on the contract? I mean, it's 22.5 guaranteed. So I can't really speak on like the structure of the contract until I see it, but it's 22.5 guaranteed. So I'm not going to say it's a steal, but it's a decent contract. It's a fair contract probably when push comes to shove. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. It was a need, and it's clearly a guy that the New York Giants liked a lot that they feel is going to fit their defense. So he had a good year by all accounts last year with the Colts. He's an improving player. He's young. I'm cool with it. I'm good with it. Sam says, don't like re-signing Shep, not even. Why though, Sam? Like, a lot of people said that on Twitter when it went down. Like, they don't like this. Why though? What's your reasoning? Like, if it's a min salary that's not going to affect the cap, and there's no guarantee he even makes the roster, like, to me, that's almost like a camp invite contract. Like, if he doesn't play well at camp, he won't make the team. So, like, I don't really see the negative to it. You bring him back. He's a leader of the team. And you see how he performs in camp, how he looks coming off the injury. And if he can make the team, great. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I don't really see any negative to bringing him back. Mythic Man, thank you very much. He says, sign a free agent tight end or draft one. I mean, I don't want to sign a high-end free agent tight end. If they want to sign a cheap guy, sure. But I don't want to spend $7-8 million a year on a tight end. I'd rather draft one, if that's what you're asking. If they want to sign like a $3 million tight end, okay. But I'd rather draft one. It's also a very deep tight end draft class. So my preference is not to sign a free agent tight end. I'd rather draft one. Hey, Tana, what's up? Do you really think that Devontae Adams is going to be okay playing with Jimmy G? We'll see. Maybe he forces a trade. He just makes so much money, though, man. He makes so much money. That's the thing. Manny says, we definitely don't just need a coverage linebacker. Remember that run defense. Well, he's not strictly a coverage linebacker. To me, he graded out better against the run. He's 235. It's not like this guy's really small. The guy had over 280 tackles the last 2 years. So everything that I just briefly read over, he actually grades out stronger against the run than in terms of coverage. He's just better in coverage than we've had in a long time. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it, Manny. I think we need more. I agree that we need to continue to improve the linebacking core. This isn't it. We need more, but there's a big step, man. We got a young linebacker that's getting better. I'm good with it. Yeah, I get it, and Sam, but it's not like you're committed to him. It's like a nothing contract. Like, if he gets hurt, you cut him and you bring up a guy from the practice squad if he even makes the team at all. Come back when we get the prime steak. Who you taking with the Giants pick? I got to choose there. Joe. I mean, I have no idea who's going to be there. We're picking at 25. I'm leaning it's going to be a corner. That's what I've thought probably for about like a month. Once I saw the strength of the draft and where we're picking. I'm leaning it's going to be a corner, but it definitely could be a wide receiver. What's up, Sean, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Willie Beard. Yeah, I got to talk to Bad Dog, but I'm sure there's going to be one soon because now there's stuff to talk about. The Imp Man, he says, who did we get? I just had surgery and fell asleep. Oh, we got a linebacker. We got a starting linebacker. Bobby O. Until such time I get his pronunciation down, I'm going to call him Bobby O. I'll get it down by tomorrow when I get a chance to like sit and listen. But Bobby O, linebacker from the Colts. He's 26. Looks like a good, well-rounded linebacker. And we got some depth on the D-line. So improving that defense. What was the and you knew that they were going to try to attack this. You heard Joe Shane in the press conference at the end of the year, like a month ago, whenever it was, when he was asked about the run defense and the defensive line. He's like, yeah, we need dramatic upgrades there. So you knew that they were going to attack this. And so far in free agency, that's been their focal point. They got a D tackle. They got a linebacker. We'll see what else they do to try to improve this roster. But so far, so good, man. We're filling some holes. That's what free agency is all about. We got a young player that could improve and get better. Yeah, I'm excited. We got some nice pieces for this defense going forward. Let's see. Your boy says, if free agency ended now, who would you draft? Depends who's there. Like what wide receiver fell to me? What cornerback fell to me? It depends who's there, but it's definitely one of those two positions for me. Is JSN there? I like Flowers personally. I think he fits our scheme. But yeah, I'd consider one of those guys, right? We haven't even signed a free agent. We haven't signed a wide receiver yet or traded for a wide receiver yet. Are they there? Right? Which cornerback is there? But I think it's either a wide receiver or a corner. But it all depends on who falls and where, who they have ranked higher on their board. MY Giants 26 says should sign another linebacker. I wouldn't be against it. Now, obviously a cheap one, but I wouldn't be against bringing another cheap linebacker. Tudo, he says, massive salutes and respects to Big Boss Tana and all the dire Giants fans in the house. Greetings from Rome, Italy, and F all the stinky boys loses out the door. What's going on, man? Manny says, that was my point. Someone said we need a cover linebacker and wasn't satisfied with, okay, we also need a guy that could play behind our D tackles. Yeah, for sure. To me, he looks like a pretty well-rounded linebacker. He doesn't look like let's put it this way. He doesn't look like a guy that is like, he looks like he has good athleticism, good side-to-side quickness. He at least looks capable in terms of coverage. So he's not a stick in the mud. Let's put it that way. Like, I don't see like Blake Martinez, who actually was better in coverage than I thought he would be. He still wasn't very good in coverage. Yeah, to me, he looks good. I like him so far from what I've seen. But obviously, I haven't looked at him a whole lot. He's not a giant. But the limited time thing I saw and what I've seen in terms of his coverage grade on Twitter, I like him. Tyrell says, don't let us fleece you out of dinner with these questions. I'll get dinner. Don't worry about it. That guy, Jose, says, would you draft a pass-catching tight end if it was the best player? Is it ideal for me? No. But if they have Kincaid way above everybody else, sure. If he's that much better than everybody else on their board, sure. Is it what I want? No, it's not what I want as a fan. No, I want a wide receiver or a corner. I personally am not in love with drafting a first-round tight end. I'm just not. How often does a first-round tight end work out? How often? How often do you look at a pick where a tight end went in the first round and you said, that pick was worth it? Pitt certainly isn't trending towards being worth. He may end up being worth a first-round pick, but not as early as he went. He went like third or fourth overall. Even the dude on the Vikings, he's really good. Was he worth like the sixth overall pick? So I just feel like tight ends, when you take them in the first round, it very rarely is worth it. Very rarely. Kyle Pitts was definitely not worth that. Kyle Pitts was a horrible pick. Right now, it looks like an awful pick. Look at all the players that went after him. There was like 15 players that went after him that were better. I mean, Jalen Waddle, all the receivers that went after him were better. All three of them. Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Jamar Chase. Then you had, obviously, Parsons. You had, there's so many. So it was Slater. So many players that went after him were better than him. Dan, man, thank you very much. He says, I'm not saying that tight ends don't help win games. They do, but you can get value at that position. Dan says, personally, I'm trusting Hodges to become our wide receiver 2 and Flott to become a cornerback 2 so we could spend our first pick on a wide receiver 1 and spend our money on the O-line. I just don't think they're going to force a position. I think they're going to take the best player on their board. I think it just so happened it's going to be a corner. That's my guess, just based off the strength of this draft. And it is a big need. I agree. He's a hybrid. Agreed. He's going to be I think he will be really good. I just don't think he was worth that pick. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a really good player. I just don't think he's worth that pick. Andy says, hey, Dana, what's up? Do you really think that Davante Adams is going to be okay playing with Jimmy G? Oh, I already read that. I think, well, he's getting paid to be okay with Jimmy G. He doesn't have much of a choice. Maybe he forces his way out, but then teams are going to have to take on his contract too. Like, for everybody that's talking about Davante Adams, he's great. He's fantastic. Davante Adams is 31. Next year is a cap at a 14. The next year is 25. The last 2 years, 44 and 44. Now, granted, the cap hit is only 7.8 and 15.7. And I think the Giants would be responsible for the base, I'm pretty sure, which is 36 apiece. That's still a lot of money. And he's 31. So you got to factor in the contract as well when you're talking about these players and the age. What's up, Primo? Yeah, man, the Knicks won. Of course I liked it. Randall played well. It was good to see them get a win last night. Chris, you think it's possible we trade out of the first round pick, still get a wide receiver cornerback? Sure, it's possible. We'll talk about all the possibilities as the draft gets closer, but sure, it's possible. If Nolan Smith drops to us, I agree. I actually mentioned him on a podcast I was on the other day. I could definitely see that. Jamal, I don't think he'll drop to us, though. He had way too impressive of a combine. I think somebody's going to take him early. Not really early, but before we pick. Jamal says, hey, Tana, what's up? Gotta love Joe Shane. Doesn't get what we want. He gets what we need. Great signing. I love Bobby in the defense. He's going to be great. I'm all about it, man. I'm excited. G-Man says, is Darius Slay a good pickup if he is available? Well, he's still under contract, right? I think it would have to be via trade. And if he is, obviously the Eagles aren't going to trade with us. And I'm pretty sure he makes a lot of money. I think he's under contract because I think the Eagles said look for a trade, right? Yeah, he's under contract next year. He's 32. He's got a cap at 26. And then he's got void years on top of it. No, I don't want Darius Slay. I don't want that. And they would never trade him to us, but I don't want Darius Slay. I want to draft a corner. I don't want to trade for a corner, especially an older one. Just draft a corner. There's a lot of good corners in this draft. Why do people talk about getting an edge guy? Do people hate it? No, it goes back to the old adage. You could never have enough edge rushers. Like, it didn't stop the Giants from drafting Jason Pierre-Paul when they had Justin Tuck and Osi Umenyiora. If you're in love with an edge rusher where you're picking, you shouldn't let Azeez Ojulari scare you away from that. Azeez is a good player, don't get me wrong, but you don't know if the guy's going to be able to stay healthy for one. You don't know how good he's going to become. If you love an edge rusher, I don't think the Giants should shy away from taking one. Let's see what we got. Yeah, he's definitely going to stay in the field. But why draft an edge if the team has holes? Well, because it may not be as big of a hole. We have bigger holes, but I think it comes down to best player available. Like if there was an edge there that they thought was much better than any other player, and I don't know if they will, I'm not going to be upset if they take an edge. I'm just not. Edge rushers are super important. Does Hardman play outside, or is he another? He's kind of like a gadget guy for the most part, but he's got a ton of speed. Like, he could definitely take the top off of defense. Man, it must suck playing for fans who call older players. Yeah, KT being called trash after who called it? That's ridiculous. Anybody that's calling him trash. Thibodeau's going to be a monster. But again, I don't think we're taking an edge, by the way, Enrique. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me. Like, if he fell, because he looks like a good one. And if they really liked him a lot more than anybody else, it wouldn't shock me. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm predicting a corner. Or wide receiver. Danvers says, I can't wait for the season now. Well, just wait. We're going to get a couple more pieces this free agency. I promise you. We're not done yet. They did not give Daniel Jones 19 against the cap, and I think it ultimately ended up being 21 against the cap. But they did not do that to not sign anybody. They're going to make some more signings. X-Men says, definitely a cornerback or wide receiver round 1. Trade out of the first to the second. Depends on what's being offered. Depends on who's there when we're picking. MY Giants 26 says, people hate KT because of his cockiness. I love it. Whatever. I love him. I think he's going to be great. I'm not, as long as the guy produces, he can be as cocky as he wants. I don't really care. As long as he's good to his teammates. That's the only thing I care about, man. Respect the guys in your locker room. Naruto says, Wink is happy with that signing. Now get DJ at wide receiver 1. If they ever ended up getting Judy, Giants fans would explode. Let's see. We're going to be so good of a team in 2 years. Be patient. This team's going to build it up right. I have full faith in this regime. No. Offensive lineman, no. We haven't signed any offensive linemen yet. Do we really think Judy's a wide receiver? I think he definitely can be. I don't know if I would call him a wide receiver 1 yet, but I think he has the possibility of being one, yes. I would call him a 2 right now, but he's like Gabe Davis to me is like a guy I know is always going to be a 2. He'll never be a 1. Judy's a guy that could be a 1. Like, he's got potential, like coming out, like, and he's still really young. David, thank you very much, man. I can't remember if you were a Rangers fan or if that was Bad Dog. Nice signings today by the Giants. And the Devils keep improving with a big win last night. I think we'll trade. I'm not really a hockey fan, to be honest with you. I'm like a loose Islanders fan, I guess, because I grew up on Long Island. But I root for whoever's in the playoffs, whether it's the Rangers or whether it's the Islanders. I know that they hate each other, but I'm like a very casual hockey fan. So, yeah, I'll root for whichever team has a chance to win in the playoffs. I root for New York in hockey, not any other sport. In basketball, Knicks. I hate Brooklyn. I don't hate the Jets, but they're whatever to me with the Giants. And then baseball, yeah, I'm a Mets fan, so I'm not a big Yankees guy. Which corner are you drafting? I mean, there's like 6 that I think could potentially be there where we're picking. I mean, I haven't even looked at the updated mocks after the combine. So, I mean, let me look at one, but Gonzalez is not going to be there, obviously. I mean, most people have him going first. You got Joey Porter. Witherspoon, I don't think will be there. Porter, maybe. Deonte Banks, Forbes. You got Cam Smith. There's a lot of guys we could take with that 25th pick. I like Banks. I don't know if he'll be there, but I like him. Ringo. Yeah, Ringo too, who I actually had going to us in my first mock. He might drop a little bit. We'll see. And Manny, he says, keeping the core together and making small deals that help the team was the right move this offseason. Of course it was. Got to keep building, man. You can't break this team up. You got to keep building, but be smart with the signings that you make. So they're going to build this team up. They're going to help Daniel Jones this year. I have no doubts. They're going to get him some help. They're going to get him some wide receiver help. It's just a matter in how do they go about doing it. And it may not all come in 1 year. And I think as fans, we got to realize that. It's not a rich free agency class for the position. And I think Joe Shane's kind of hinted at that in press conferences. Every time the wide receiver comes up, he goes, I know people are obsessed with the wide receiver. It's obviously a big need, but there's other needs on this team. I think he's hinted that like he's not going to just force to take a wide receiver that he may not necessarily love, whether it be in free agency, whether it be in the draft, whether it be trading for a wide receiver. it may take 2 years to really morph this wide receiving core. And it looks to me, based on the contract they're giving Daniel Jones, 3 years. So they're going to build this team up, but they're not going to force it. They're going to get the right guys in here at the right time. If we wait till round 2, I mean, the problem, Jay Bus, is there may not be, depending on who's available, there may not be a wide receiver round 1 that's worth it. There may not be like a top guy. They're not going to just force the pick. So it all depends on how they feel about these wide receivers. Let me take a quick look at Twitter, see if there's been any recent signings that have gone down. Take a look. Tom Pelissero just came out with a tweet. Just the details of Patrick Peterson's deal. $14 million, 2 years, so $7 million a year. Let me pull up Pelissero. So that was the most recent one. The new Steelers Patrick Peterson deal is 2 years, $14 million with $5.85 guaranteed. So it's basically a 1-year contract. And then they could cut bait. Let me see. Let's take a look at Rappaport. 40 minutes ago, was talking about Aaron Rodgers. Doesn't look like anything's going down right now. Still waiting. See if another deal goes down before I get dinner in about 20 minutes. And then we'll do this all over again tomorrow. When are you going to do your first Giants set? After free agency, after I see what the Giants. I was going to do it before free agency, but then I said, why am I going to force one of those 7-round mock drafts until I see what our real needs are after free agency, so I could really look at the team. So probably in a week after I see the signings that the Giants make, wide receiver, so on and so forth. But I'm going to start talking about the draft hopefully in a 2 or 3 days. I kind of want the free agency thing to, obviously the next 2 or 3 days are going to be focused on free agency. Today's the stream. I'll definitely have a video up on some of the guys we signed today. Then tomorrow we're going to go live again to talk free agency after I get out of work. So the next 3 days or so will be focused heavily on free agency. And then after that, we'll start to talk into the draft. Mingo. I like Mingo. I like Mingo a lot, actually, as a day 2 pick. Not in the first round, but I like Mingo. I'm not a big fan of Rice personally, but I do like Mingo. Chris, I'm ready, brother. Let's go, Nikki. Marcus Davenport is still in. Yeah, I don't think we're going to sign him, but he's still an option, yes. Why do you hate Brooklyn? I don't hate Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. I don't hate Brooklyn. I don't like the Nets. I don't know if hate's the right word. Manny says I missed his super chat. Hold on. Let me see. This is what happens when you're when you're trying to respond to everybody in the chat. You skip over one by accident. I got you, Manny. Long only got 2 years, $11 million. Come on, can't beat that. It's a great deal. I mean, I liked Long. It was a great deal, but obviously the Giants liked him more than Long when push comes to shove, right? That's why they gave him the money that they did. But yeah, I thought Long was going to get probably 8. I thought he'd get 7.5 to 8. He only got 5.5. So obviously there wasn't a huge market for him because that was the best deal he got offered. He wouldn't have just taken it to take it. So, yeah, obviously the Giants wouldn't have paid this if they didn't think they had to sign him. But we'll talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, I liked Long. To me, this guy seems like more of a well-rounded linebacker than Long, though. Long's a little bit more undersized. He's 225. Bobby O's 235, 238. But Long was pretty good in coverage. Long went to Miami, I think. He went to Miami. He already signed, man. Well, you're saying you wish they signed both, yeah. Does Johnson even run it? He probably will. He's not going to do it if he thinks it's going to hurt his draft stock, but he probably will at his pro day. New York, man, he says, just finished watching an Autumn Falls movie marathon. What'd I miss? We signed a linebacker. We got a new starting linebacker, Bobby O, and we got a defensive tackle. So we're starting to fill in some of the holes. We brought back our punter, the Scottish Hammer. I don't know if you already heard about that. That happened this morning. We brought back Kreider, the long snapper. Still nothing on Julian Love. Yeah, that's it. Some like loose rumors about Jerry Jeudy, but it's very loose. Just a guy says, rumor has it Bijan's going to be. You really want this guy, man. You really want this guy, man. Von Bell, Panthers 7.5. All right. So there's some signings that are starting to come in. I'm guessing I don't know this, so I didn't get the joke, Jai, but based off some of the reactions from the guys in the chat, I'm guessing Autumn Falls is probably an adult film star. But that's just a guess. Just based off of some of the things that I saw after he said that. Silly Parody says, you on Patty's channel this week? Yeah, I'm sure. We'll be on. I don't know what day, but I'll be on her channel later this week. No, I honestly didn't know. Max. I know the names of some adult film stars, but I did not know her name. Now I do. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Tane on the money. I just saw a lot of people laughing. I had a feeling that's what it was, and it just sounds like an adult film star when you hear the name in your head. Autumn Falls. I mean, let's see what we got. Let's see. I'm at work. I got to Google it on my phone, not the work PC. Yeah. Autumn Falls is about to get a lot more donations on her OnlyFans after that donation. Would you do a mock draft? I mean, it's up to her. It's her channel. But, yeah, of course I would. And Stone Sour, thank you very much, man. Favorite adult star. Oh, now you really put me on the spot. I ain't going to get into that. There's ladies in the chat. That's after hours, Tana. That's after dark, Tana. That's not midday. That's not 8:13 p.m. Free agency, Tana. That's after dark, 1 a.m. I've had too many beers in my system, Tana. When we start to get into that. Sway Sports. Yeah, Johnny Sins. That's my favorite one. Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. Sway Sports. He says, Bobby O, not bad, Shane. 26 with potential. I'm all about it, man. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Tana after dark. That's like 1 a.m. I got a 6-pack in my system. And MY Giants 26 says, Sexy Dexy sounds like a screen name adult star. He does. He definitely does. Can we get Autumn? I might have to get Autumn Falls on the channel after this. She's getting a lot of it. Everybody's leaving my chat to go look up her videos after that donation. Hyatt said he wants to play slot at the combine. I don't know. I think he's more of like, man, we'll see. He's small. He's only 170. I think he's like 170 pounds, but he's fast as hell, man. He actually didn't run as fast as 40 as I thought he was going to, though. He only ran like a 4.4 or like I think it was like a low 4.4s, if I recall. I thought he was going to run a faster time than he did. Sexy Dexy and Autumn Falls. It was a 4.43, yeah. All right, you want me to project what Dexter Lawrence's contract is going to be after seeing what some of these defensive tackles signed for? I think Dexter Lawrence is going to sign for, I was spot on. Somebody posted it on Twitter with the Daniel Jones contract in like a stream that I did a week before he signed. I said 4 for 160. I didn't initially say that, but as I started to see the market developing, I think Dexter Lawrence is going to sign for 5 years. 115. 5 years, 115 million. I think he's going to get $23 million a year. And I think he's going to get like 70 guaranteed. 60 to 70 guaranteed. I think he's going to sign for 115, like 60 or 70 guaranteed. He's going to get a big contract. Horny Tana says, or it might be 4. If it's 4, it'll be the same. It'll be like 23 a year. 4 for 92. I think he's going to get 23 a year. No, I'm sorry. Not 4 for... Wait. Yeah, 92. 4 for 92 would be 23 a year. Horny Tana says, would you reunite with JPP? He's old. How old is he now? No, I'm good. Love JPP, but no, I'm good. I was just thinking about, are the Judy rumors real or not? I mean, I'm sure they're real, but the question is, Shannon, is what are they asking for, right? Are they asking for a first? Because if they're asking for a first, I don't think we're going to do it. So they may be real, like they may be willing to trade him, but what's the price, right? If it's a reasonable price, yeah, the Giants may very well be interested. There's been plenty of signings. There hasn't been, I don't think there's been any signings recently, but there's been plenty of signings today, Liz. I'll pull it up right now. Just a second. We'll go with the updated signings. All right, let me just refresh this, make sure it's good. So we already knew about Derek Carr. Hargrave signed today, huge deal, 4 years, $84, $21 million a year, 30-year-old defensive tackle, went from the Eagles to the Niners. Payne re-signed with Washington. I think that was yesterday. 4 years for $90, so that's $22.5 million a year. So that's around what I think Dex is going to get, 4 for $92-ish, if it's a 4-year deal, somewhere in that ballpark. Saquon got tagged. Davenport hasn't signed. Orlando Brown hasn't signed. Juwan Taylor signed with the Chiefs for $20 million a year, offensive tackle. Wow. Daniel Jones, of course. Kelsey re-signed 1 year to be determined with the Eagles. Josh Jacobs got tagged. Jamal Dean got signed for a little bit less than I thought he would because he's the highest corner in this market. 4 for $52. That's $13 million a year. Bradbury still hasn't signed. Tremaine Edmonds signed a huge contract, $18 million a year. Mike McGlinchey, the offensive tackle, he got a good amount, 5 for $87.5 with Denver. Poyer still hasn't signed. You got Jesse Bates, huge contract for a safety, $16 million a year, 4 years, $64 to the Falcons. Gino, we already knew about. Ingram, we already knew about. He was tagged. David Long, 2 for $11. That's a really good deal in terms of value, $5.5 million a year. TJ Edwards, 3 for $19.5, around the same, like a little over $6 million a year. Cam Sutton signed for $11 million a year. Then you got Garoppolo. He signed for less than I thought he would. He got like $23 million a year or 22 and change. I thought he'd get more than that. There's our signing 4 for $40. Bobby O, that's 22.5 guaranteed. Jonathan Jones, 2 for $20. Nate Davis, 3 for $30. Tony Pollard got tagged. So, yeah, there's been a lot of signings. Jermaine Pratt, 3 for $21, $7 million a year linebacker. Connor McGovern signed for 3 for $23. He's a decent center. Played with the Jets the last couple of years. I think he was with Denver before that. He goes to the Bills. Brandon Graham re-signed with the Eagles for $6 million. That already happened. Didn't happen today. So, yeah, there's been a good amount of signings. Still a lot of players left, though, in that top 100, right? Like, at least according to their list, we're not even going to talk about Lamar Jackson because that's just silly. We're not doing that. Bradbury, we're not going to sign him, but he's available. You got Poyer, one of the higher safeties available. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So there's still some Levante. We're not going to sign another linebacker, at least not one of the higher priced ones, but he's available. Ciamalo's still available. Probably the highest priced guard in this year's free agency class. All the wide receivers are still available. That's probably the untapped market that everybody's most curious about now. Dalvin Tomlinson's still available. Clowney's still available. Dalton Schultz, the top tight end. Rock Ya-Sin, Byron Murphy. So there's definitely some Yannick. So there's definitely some big names still available. DJ Chark. We'll see. JD, what's going on, man? When you log on Twitter, have you caught up? And I will definitely check it out, man. I think I looked at you actually what you said briefly. I think I've already looked at a couple of things on the stream, but I am looking forward to getting to know more about him and having an informative video tomorrow talking about him. I'm excited. I'm excited about the move for the Giants. We needed a linebacker bad. MY Giants 26 says sign Autumn Falls to a multi-year deal. I heard she has a ball hawk and a can stuff to run. Sounds like a great fit for me. I mean to me. Let's see what we got. The top center available is the dude from Minnesota. Garrett Bradbury. He's like an average center, but he's probably the top center available. Jay Stubb says, Chris, opinion, I like it. I do. I like it. It was a huge need of ours. Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. The more I get a chance to look at him after the stream, the more I'm probably going to like it. But I was going to be happy if we got an athletic linebacker that was a hard hitter. Yes, it's going to look like gold to me based off of what we've had at that position. So I like it. We needed it. We got some youth. We got some talent at a position where we had the worst linebacking core in football. So I'm very happy. Nerf Swag says all D Jones contract haters ignore his game. Man, whatever. I ain't gonna get into the Daniel Jones contract because the people that don't like Daniel Jones, most of them are never gonna see why this contract is really not that bad. Even if you don't like Daniel Jones, this contract was not a bad contract. Like, it's an easy out after 2 years if things go really south. Like, to me, it was the perfect situation. We're not in a place to draft the quarterback. It's a short commitment with Jones, and it's a contract that I think both parties are happy with. They're not like going above and beyond in their commitment to Jones, but they're giving him a relatively strong commitment. I think that deal is going to see 3 years because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to completely bomb. I believe in the coaching staff too much. So I think that deal is going to see 3 years, and then we'll see after that. But I think Jones is going to get the next 3 years with Dable to grow as this team gets better around him. And we'll see what Daniel Jones looks like by the year 2026, 2025, whatever that is. But I think he's getting 3 years. I don't think he's going to just completely bomb. I think he's going to play at least relatively well. And we'll see what he looks like over the next 3 years as this team evolves around him. Let's see. Jones haters just see 15 touchdowns, 6 rushing. Whatever. I don't care. We'll see. Doesn't matter. They're going to have to like him because he's going to be here for the next 3 years. Hot take. I think Daniel Jones will be better than Josh Allen. Wow, that is a hot take, and I hope you're right, man. Caramone says, bon appetit. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, hopefully all you guys come back tomorrow, man. I had a lot of fun today talking with you guys. Was looking forward to doing this after work. I always like doing these free agency streams. They're a lot of fun. We're all excited. You get to talk about it. In the ones I've done in the past, there's more midday because that's like the hot time, but I work now. So I work from home. I'm not going to be able to do it Wednesday. Well, I can, but it'll be later. But I wanted to do this today. I always love doing these. I'll do another one tomorrow, right around the same time, like 5:05, because I get off work at 4:30. But I work from home, so I just pop on here, and then we talk about the things that are happening around the league. Yeah, right around 5 tomorrow, Matthew. 5:05-ish. That's when I'll go live tomorrow. Let's see. I'll do another 5 minutes, and then we're going to close this out at 8:30 because I do have to eat. How would you feel if we did bring back OBJ for a year or two? And again, if the contract's right, I'm good. I'm in. But the contract's got to be right. I think he's going to get more than what I'd be comfortable with paying him. Yeah, I like working from home. I mean, I do and I don't. Like, part of me, would like to go to the office. I go to the office once a week. I go to the office on Wednesdays. But even when I go to the office, it's not like a normal office feel because, it's like, so basically, without getting too much into detail, what I do, the office traditionally has like 100 desks on each floor, maybe even a little bit more than that. But when I go in, like 8 desks are filled because you alternate working from home. So like 4 to the 5 days, everybody works home. They come in one day. So 20% of the workforce is in each day. So it's not, even when you go into the office, you don't get like an office feel. So like part of me wishes, I'd like to have that. But at the same time, it's nice to be able to wake up, an hour and a half later than I would have to if I had to go into work and, just take a quick shower, eat breakfast to get ready. So yeah, I like working from home. What am I going to eat? I think I'm just going to have cold cuts, actually. I had a pretty big lunch. I had pasta. I had leftover pasta. So I'm probably just going to have like a sandwich for dinner. It's actually, I kind of reversed it today. Lunch for dinner. Hector says, dude, you see what Kelsey does for Kansas City? We need offensive weapons. Stop talking about the offensive line. What do you mean? I'm pounding the table for weapons. I love when people say that the offensive line is bullshit, though. As if the offensive line isn't important. I mean, what? Whatever. Whatever. But I've been pounding the table for weapons. But anybody that says the offensive line is bullshit, like, are you kidding me? Our offensive line is trash. And it's also just watch the Eagles and Cowboys games. Anybody that watched that Eagles game, you could have put Tyreek Hill and the Giants in that game. We're not beating that team. Our offensive line got destroyed in that game. And their offensive line destroyed our defensive line. Until we get better in the trenches, we ain't beating the Eagles. You could put Tyreek Hill on this team. We're not beating the Eagles. We got mauled in the trenches. Mauled against the Cowboys in the trenches. Absolutely destroyed. But guys, I'm going to close it out. Thank you to everybody for all the support. Looking forward to talking to you guys more tomorrow. We got our linebacker. I'll definitely have a video up on that. I'll definitely have a video up on that tomorrow. I'll probably do it on my lunch break tomorrow. And I'll have a video up on that. And then we'll definitely do another live stream tomorrow. And hopefully the New York Giants make a couple of signings. Had some fun. I'll still be on Twitter. I'll still be monitoring the waiver wire. I'll see what's going down. If anything huge goes down, I'll definitely have a video on that tonight just to give my initial reaction. But I'm looking forward to seeing the contracts so I could really I'm going to have a ton of videos because I'll probably have an individual video out on each guy that we sign. Then once I get to see the breakdown of the contracts, I'll probably just do a whole video in terms of the impact of the 2024 salary cap and beyond based off the contract signings. Once we see the guys that they sign. So a lot of content's coming up. Appreciate all you guys for all the support. You guys always show on the channel. Guys have a great rest of your night. Hopefully we end up making a trade. If we get one of these wide receivers that you guys want, maybe we sign a wide receiver. Definitely, hopefully we get a corner. We'll see. I don't think Shane's done though. I think we got some more moves in the gun for sure. I think we got a couple more bolts in the holster. Fabian says, thanks for the stream. Enjoy dinner. Good night. Fabian, be good, man. You guys have a great rest of your night, man. Be good. Good night, Kevin. Good night, Muhammad. Good night, Crimson. You just got here. Well, I'm just leaving. Good night, Muhammad. Be good, guys. Let's go, Giants.